Hi, everybody. How are we doing? I forgot to fucking post on Discord. I'm gonna do it this time. It's Hog Time was so fucking funny, by the way. Reading moment. I love having the ability to decide what I type and send. It's very cool. Anyway, so I love wearing my hat. I've returned to my roots, you know? It's the hat, you know? You know what I'm saying? It's a good hat. Let's see here. That makes sense. I have this notebook, which I had to message someone for financial aid or whatever. Which was fine. Except they didn't fucking respond within a timely manner. I think we're, like, I'm supposed to be getting a bunch of, I'm supposed to be getting access to all of my, like, scholarships or whatever, because the study abroad people owe me a scholarship for being Pell eligible, which is just being poor and old. Is the dumbest way to put that. You have to, well, not old. You have to be an independent, I think. But if you're still living with your parents, you just have to be old. So that's me. And so since I'm Pell eligible, I get Pell from the government, and I get extra money from the study abroad office. Because if I'm Pell eligible, they're like, hee, here is some money. But yeah. She never got back to me. What day was it when I messaged? Maybe it was too late. I don't know. Like, I think it was Friday. But maybe because it was Friday, it was no good or something. I don't know. I don't. Not really sure. I also don't know if it counted, I guess, like, because she gave me her name after my meeting with her, and she said, here's my name, you can email me directly. And I was like, okay, perfect. But maybe I emailed the wrong email or something. I don't know, maybe I'll follow up later. I'm not really sure. I'll have to do something. Which sucks. Because I really don't. Huh. Delavar. I have a lot of, uh, What was I talking about? I don't even remember. Anyway, at this point, I'm just stalling to start with the book because no one's here. So I don't want to read it until someone gets here, because that would be dumb. You don't want to. You don't want to miss this heat. This really good starting line. You know, like that's you don't want to miss that. Ah, good. I'm glad I waited. Hi, everybody. How are you guys? I didn't shit. Hold on. I forgot. I could have spent all that time I was like fucking around. And talking about fuck all. Me too. I'm okay. I'm tired. It was my birthday until 8 minutes ago. No! I missed it. Happy late birthday. That's terrible. My condolences that I couldn't say it sooner. Happy late birthday. What the hell? What was I doing? Oh, right. It doesn't matter. I was gonna do like a little goofy edit of like of people sitting and like listening to a story in front of a fireplace or something, and like move me on top of like the reader, but I won't do that. It's one, too late. We're already starting, and two, a lot of effort. I can't be asked. Wow, 45. Old. You're gonna die soon. That's what it sounds like to me. Well, happy birthday either way. Hope you don't get hit with the midlife crisis anytime soon. Shit. I know. I'm sorry I had to be the one to tell you. But anyway, so let's jump in. We're reading The Perfect Witness. So, death is inevitable. Good point. So I imagine you knew then. But yeah, The Perfect Witness. I have it in a physical copy this time, so no screen reading or spoilers for you. Not 31. And already about 5 years into my midlife crisis. Oh, okay. That sounds like a long midlife crisis. Okay, I forgot. We have to finish cringing, or no, we have to reset my cringes. What was I doing? Faucet what? I don't ever remember. Okay, here we go. Oh, okay. Okay, perfect. Cringe has reset. Okay, and then chat, cringe, reset. Did that work? It did. There we go. Okay. So now everyone has access to the appropriate things. Your cringes. They are at their appropriate numbers. Let's get in here. Chapter 1. She was bleeding. The pain in her side was almost overwhelming. Teresa could hear 3 men behind her in the forest, crashing through the underbrush. Run. No time to try and stop the bleeding. If she didn't get away from them, there would be another bullet, another wound, or death. She had been lucky to have seen them coming up the road toward the cabin and guessed that they had been sent to kill her. Awesome. She had slipped out of the cabin, but they caught sight of her running into the woods. She had heard Mickey Jadara shout to Tentona when he saw... What? Hi, cat. just in time. We have just started. Tantona, which is a terrible name, cringe. When he saw her, he's been surprised. They thought she'd be easy game. What? Oh. But she'd been waiting for them for the last 3 days. Waiting for death. No, she wouldn't let them kill her. She could feel the anger tearing through her, smothering the fear. Stop, Teresa. We didn't mean to hurt you. That was only supposed to be a warning shot. It was Hank Tantona calling out to her. Oh, it was a last name. Okay, that makes me feel better. Not by much, but a bit. But it's Dusty Birch. This is the only action it will be seeing for the rest of its life, is right now when we're laughing at it. But hi, Kat. How are you? Let us know. Also, say happy birthday to Trilla. It was their birthday. 13 minutes ago. We were just sent to sing. What? No. Okay, sorry, I read ahead. We were just sent to bring you back. You know me. I've watched you grow up. I was at your 16th birthday party last month. The fact that she's 16 is fucking crazy. She had not wanted to have that party, but Mother insisted. She had said it would look strange if she didn't throw a party for her, and she had been aware of Tantana leaning against the wall while she blew out the candles, smiling, joking with her father. She hadn't been able to look at him. His memories were too dark, too ugly, swirling around, pushing into every corner of his mind. He didn't try to keep the ugliest tucked away. He was proud of it, like her father. But she had learned to shut herself away from her father's memories. She wouldn't have been able to survive living with him if she hadn't. She ran faster. I know you're scared, Tantana shouted, but Rick Kamano doesn't want to hurt you either. He only wants to talk to you. He was a good friend to your father. He wants to find out who murdered him. He thinks he can help. Liar, liar, liar. But you have to obey Kamano just like you did your father. After all, he's our boss now, Teresa. He's the Don. No. Oh my god, we're doing mafia stuff in this book. Let's fucking go. And your father would like him to be in charge now that he's gone. Kamano will treat you well if you just do what he says. Kamano would kill her. She had seen it in his face at her father's funeral. He had smiled at her and patted her shoulder, but she could still feel the coldness of him. Then he had smiled at her mother, Gina, and she had smiled back, and Teresa had known that she was alone. But if you don't stop, we may have to take you down, Teresa, Tantona called. We'll try not to hurt you again, but I can't promise. Just give up and let us talk to you. Her breath was coming in gasps, and the pain was getting worse. Blood, she muttered. She had to do something about that blood. Yes, you do. She paused, startled at the words that had come out of nowhere. Her gaze flew to the path in front of her. A man stood on the path a few yards away, tall, dark-haired, gleaming, light blue eyes. Dressed in dark jeans and a sweatshirt. This is so Wattpad coded. Anyway. She didn't recognize him. He was a stranger. But everyone was the enemy. Her hand tightened on the branch in her hand. Then she crouched and swung the branch at him like a club. He grabbed it and wrenched her arm until the branch dropped to the ground. You don't have time for this. I'm no threat to you, Teresa. She punched him in the stomach. He muttered a curse and swung her around and shoved her up the path. I told you I was no threat. Get out of here. You only have a few minutes. I'll take care of Tantona and the others. Wait for me on the hill and I'll look at that wound. She hesitated only for a second, then took off running again. She didn't know what was going on, but it couldn't be worse than what she was facing now. He was a stranger, but strangers couldn't be any more dangerous than those people with whom she'd had spent her entire life. Mother. Don't think of her. It hurt too much. Keep running. She heard a scream behind. This is annoying. I read better on Wattpad. I haven't, but I was always down for slop on Wattpad personally. Well, always. I didn't know what slop was when I was a kid, so I was an unironic participator in slop Wattpad stuff. I.e., reader inserts, things of that nature. Other poorly written works. I have not read anything good on Wattpad, but that may be my fault. That could be me. You never know. Anyway. She heard a scream behind her, then a curse, then another sound that was like a grunt. Had Tantona killed him? The wet shrubs were striking her face as she ran up the hill. Get away. He had told her to wait, but he was probably a dead man. If he wasn't, he could be just as much danger to her as the men who had shot her. She couldn't trust him. She couldn't trust anyone. Damn it, stop, the stranger's voice behind her. You're okay now. No one's tracing you. Correction. No one but me. Stop. That was so dumb. Please die. Okay, anyway. Where were we? She kept running. 2 minutes later, he tackled her from behind and took her to... If this guy's the love interest, which I don't know if there's a love interest in this book. Let me check. Possible. Possible. Anyway, no mention of a love interest in the little flap, but slab books always have a love interest. So knowing what we know now, the fact that she's 16 right now, and there's this guy, not looking good. Anyway, 2 minutes later, he tackled her from behind and took her down. She rolled over and her fist struck out and hit his mouth. Then she butted her head up and struck his chest as hard as she could. Dizzy, her head was spinning, but she tried to do it again. He muttered a curse as he straddled her and pinned her shoulders to the ground. I'm not going to hurt you, you little tarantula. Okay. Okay. That was good. And by good, I mean bad. No, you're not, she said fiercely, and moved her head so she could sink her teeth into his hand on her shoulder. He didn't move, but said through clenched teeth, Get your fangs out of me, or I'll knock you out and explain later. Do you want me to prove that I'm not one of Kamano's errand boys? I will. No problem. Let's go down the hill, and I'll show you their bodies. She stiffened and removed her teeth from his hand. That doesn't prove you're not just as bad. She was silent, looking up at him. Did you really kill them? He shrugged. It was the only way to stop them. Kamano had given them orders. He would have taken you alive, but he'd be relieved if you were dead. How do you know what Kamano wants or doesn't want? Not because I belong to his fine organization. He's as dirty a gangster as your father was before him. I don't give a damn about him. He met her eyes. But I do give a damn about you. I want to help you. Why? Also 2 minutes. Send her to the Olympics. 2 minutes where? Huh? Wait, what? What are you talking about? Am I stupid? Oh, 2 minutes later. Got it. Okay, I had to go way back. That was... Okay, I'm with you now. I agree, she's also bleeding, which is good. Very realistic. I don't know how hurt she is, but... Sounded like fairly hurt, so that's good. Bullshit. I don't know you. Get off me. Then let me introduce myself. My name is Andre Mandik. We'll do Mandik. It's easier. And I'll get off of you if you promise you won't kick me in the nuts or run away. And if you let me take a look at that wound and stop the bleeding. Why would you want to do anything to help me? I don't know you. You've said that before. Maybe I'm just a good Samaritan. Bullshit. You've said that before, too. I know you're scared, but think. I saved your life. Why would I want to take it now? I don't trust you. You don't trust anyone. Deal with it. I'm the only game in town. She stared up at him, then slowly nodded. Get off of me. This is such good writing. Mandik. So, wait, that's good. Let's do Mandik. We'll do that one, because it's funny. Alright, I might forget, because I'm reading, so, but I'll do my best. He swung off her and helped her to her feet. I'll take you to my car on the road and see if I can stop that bleeding, and I'm not getting into any car, she said flatly. And how do I know that you really did kill those men who were after me? Maybe it's a lie to trick me. She started back down the hill. I want to see them for myself. Really? He followed her. You offered, like, a minute ago. Like, less than. Why are you surprised? Okay, first of all, why did you offer if you were going to be surprised if she said yes? And why are you surprised that she said yes? I don't quite understand. But anyway. Really? He followed her. Are you sure? Corpses aren't a pleasant sight. I have to know if you lied to me. Her hand was holding the wound in her side. It was wet with blood. Pain. She had to keep on going. God damn, this book's annoying already. This is awesome. She had to keep going. If you work for Kamano too, I don't think you'd kill his men. It wouldn't make sense. So I might be able to trust you. No. But maybe I could. She stopped again. She wasn't thinking clearly. She whirled to face him. But you took away that club I had. If you really want to help me, give me your gun or something else to protect myself if you've lied to me. What? He shook his head. I didn't expect that. He hesitated an instant. No gun. That would be too easy to turn against me. He reached into his jacket pocket and took out a long, slender dagger. That's not enough to prove I'm on your side? He gave the dagger to her. No, I guess not. I have to know that they're dead. Then I might be able to listen to you and decide what you want from me. And someone is always wanting something from you, aren't they, Teresa? He asked quietly. You're only 16. How long has it been going on? None of your business, she said jerkily. Don't give in to the weakness. Put one foot in front of the other. Where are Tintana and the others? You're my business, or I wouldn't be here, he said roughly, and part of that business is keeping you alive. Will you give this up and let me stop that bleeding? Where are they? Behind those trees up ahead. You're running a big risk just to see if I'm lying to you. I know. How else can I find out? You could be tricking... This dialogue is ass. You could be tricking me, but you could have killed me back there. I don't know why you didn't. If you don't trust this guy, why are you, like, telling him every thought you have? Like, I don't get it. Either way, it's a risk. Her age mentioned a second time. I know. My eyebrow is fucking raised. Like, why do you keep mentioning it? Is it significant? Is it significant in a normal way? Probably not, but anyway. Either way, it's a risk. I can't trust anyone, but I have to find out for sure who I have to fight. By all means, go check them out. Considering the fact that your dirtbag father raised you as a mafia princess, I'm sure you shouldn't be shocked at a few dead bodies. He was angry, she realized. Were those words supposed to hurt her? It didn't matter. Nothing mattered but finding a way to get away from Kamano. She faded to the left when she... Huh? Okay. Anyway. She faded to the left when she reached the trees and tried to creep quietly forward in case there was someone would wait for her. Her hand tightened on the dagger. She stopped and listened. No sound. She faded? I guess? I don't... That's what it says. I'll let it slide, but I don't get it. She searched the darkness. She went a few steps deeper into the trees. The first body she saw was that of Georgie Solar. He was lying crumpled beside an oak tree. His head was twisted at an odd angle. Shock. She stopped short, then forced herself to keep on walking. A few yards later, she saw Mick Jodaro lying with eyes wide open, staring at the sky. Seen enough? Man Dick asked behind her. She shook her head, moving forward. Tantana's throat had been cut, and there was a pool of blood on the ground all around him. Dead. All dead. Satisfied? Andre Man Dick asked. Satisfied I'm safe from them. She couldn't take her eyes from the wound in Tantana's throat. Not satisfied that I'm safe from you. You're a murderer, just like them. You killed them all in just a matter of minutes. She was dizzy, and it was hard to form the words. Maybe you're worse than they were. Or better. It depends on how you look at it. He took a step closer to her. But I'm not going to hurt you, damn it. Now let me... Her knees were buckling. She was falling. He caught her before she... I actually thought we were going to, like, move chapters, but anyway. He caught her before she reached the ground. He took the dagger from her hand. Then he lifted her and was carrying her through the trees. Let me down. I can't read that. That's too big of a pause for me, okay? We're moving. Anyway, there was an ellipse. I can't be asked. Anyway, no way. I've wasted... There's no indication of how I'm supposed to be reading any of this dialogue because of how bad the dialogue is. It's very hard to intuit how the characters sound. That is something that I'm already having trouble with. Like, even in Colleen Hoover's writing, you can tell before you start the sentence what the character is thinking and how the character sounds. This one, I can't. Don't worry. She's 16. No. But it's so... I'm cringing because of how, like... I've never noticed that in books before. Like, being able to know what's going on and how a character sounds before you get there. Like, it's easier to read when things are well written, or decently written, enough to be able to imply voice. Because it's not just... reading out loud where you do that. You do it in your head too. Like when you're reading in your head, you read how the character's supposed to sound. If you can't intuit how the character's supposed to sound, how are you supposed to read well? Like, you know, comprehensively. This is bad. Anyway, no way. I've wasted enough time already. I can't be sure that Tantana didn't phone a location to Kamano while he was chasing you. Kamano already knew I was at the cabin. That's why he sent them. How did he know? She told him. I'm doing the ellipsis now. Who? My mother. It hurt to say the words. She told him. He was silent. You're sure? I'm sure. Son of a bitch. He was angry again. She didn't think it was her with her this time. What are you going to do to me? She moistened her lips. Ew. This cringe was for all the ellipses and the moistening her lips. Then said fiercely, I won't let you kill me. I'm not going to die. Do you hear me? I'll fight you. I know you will. You're ready to fight the whole damn world. He was looking straight ahead. But you don't listen. I'm not going to hurt you. I'm your best hope to stay alive. Why? She whispered. If you help me, Kamano will kill you. He didn't answer, and she didn't care. She was getting dizzy again. It might be okay to hope that he didn't want to hurt her or kill her and just let go. You were wrong about me, she whispered. I've only saw one man who had been murdered before tonight, but he was shot in the head. Hideous. Fun fact, there's 5 women in this book, and we are talking to one of them. So that's really good. Moisten her lips. Yeah, that felt unnecessary. Anyway, your father did it? Jokeman's skull exploding in blood and brains blowing in all directions. Guilt. Terrible guilt. Scream. She had screamed. No, I did it. It was me. Darkness. Shut the fuck up. We're in for a treat. Anyway, glittering stars, tall trees. A lot of this book is unnecessary. I am getting that sense. The fuck is this, bro? Are there chapters, by the way? I was watching a video on like someone's biggest like book formatting icks, and I thought that was interesting. Like okay, there are chapters from like an aesthetic perspective. Like, how would you want your book to be formatted? One of them, the whole thing, one might say, so true. One of her pet peeves was really tiny text, which was fair because, you know, tiny text is hard to read. Another one was chapter breaks in the middle of the page, which from a saving paper perspective, I don't mind. But from a I want to know when I'm going to be done perspective, a little cutting it to the next page never killed anybody. One of my book formatting icks, and this isn't like so much as an aesthetic problem, but more of a writing issue. And in a sense formatting, because realistically all books you can just kind of write raw, like no chapters if you really wanted to. Well, kind of. You can do like time skips and like line breaks and stuff, but you don't necessarily have to break it into chapters. But one of mine is super short chapters. That bothers me quite a bit. Especially because a lot of the chapter breaks feel super unnecessary because of how short they are. It's like, couldn't we have just kept going? Did we need to break? Like, you could just do a line break. Like, they went to bed. Line break. Good morning, everyone. It's time to keep going. Great. That works for me. Especially if the day that we talked about in the chapter prior only mattered for like a half a page. What book was it? Short chapters are weird. Like, cool, we walked 2 feet. Exactly. Like, why waste your breath? Telling me all of that, if the chapter was going to be so short, we could have just cut forward quite a bit. Maximum Ride committed that crime quite a bit. Because for a minute there, I was trying to read all of those books on my phone. I did a lot of commentary on them as well, I think, where I, like, wrote all the notes, because I like to do that kind of thing, because I'm a doofus. Let me see if I can find it. I know I'm getting distracted, and I only had this book for, like, a month, but that's my business, okay? Alright. Where'd I put it? There it is. I don't know if I still have it, but Maximum Ride is like 400 some odd pages, and the chapters are really short, and nothing fucking happens, and also it's boring and awful. Here it is. Ooh. Do I delete things? Oh, no, I don't. Maximum Ride, The Angel Experiment. Oh, yeah. So on this page that it opened up to randomly, I already have 3 notes. In back of me is highlighted, and I said, "Yuck! Someone get this man an editor." And then for highlighted the word "moi," French. I said, "I think I hate women," so that's good. Very thrilling commentary. So funny. Anyway, oh wow, oh, no way. That was chapter 1. I cracked it open in the first instance of the word "I." No! Because I hate first-person books. They're very bad. This is written like it should be first person, but isn't. What are we doing? It's like they wanted to write it in first person, but couldn't commit. They were like, everyone thinks first person is bad, so I'm gonna write in third person. No, just be bad and write bad first person. That's what you want to do. I see it. First person is in your heart. Just commit. Live your life. Be free. Okay? Write that in first person. Anyway, so I got super distracted. One of my favorite activities while reading is getting distracted, though, to be fair. So, anyway. Glittering stars, tall trees, wisps of smoke, a crackling fire only a few feet away. And Andre Mandic was kneeling beside her, his gaze focused intently on the bandage he was applying to the wound in her side. He looked up as he felt her stiffen. "Back with me? I was beginning to worry. You lost quite a bit of blood. The wound isn't all that bad, just a flesh wound, but you probably suffered shock. Where are we?" After I stopped the blood, I drove 20 or 30 miles down the road and set up camp to finish the job. He was buttoning up her shirt. Why? Why? Like, okay. Personally, if you're writing, you don't necessarily need to give your woman character a wound, 16-year-old female character, a wound that would require a man of an indeterminate age to button or unbutton her shirt while unconscious. Okay, anyway, just saying. We didn't need to... It could have been a wound to her arm. A wound to... Being IT over the phone. Good luck. A wound to her lower leg, perhaps. Anywhere else? Maybe? I don't know. Not there, though. Anyway. Okay. He was buttoning up her shirt. "You need blood, but it's not urgent. I'll get you to someone I trust to check my first aid within the next 12 hours or so." He smiled. "But I don't anticipate any complaints. I'm pretty damn good." She shook her head. "You're crazy. I'm not going to take that chance. I don't know or trust you. Why should I trust your friend?" "No reason, except that from now on, I'm going to run the show." "Bullshit." "Okay, can she say anything else or no?" Anyway, "That's the way it has to be," he said as he moved a few yards away from her. "Unless you particularly want Kamano to kill you or get his hands on you. Neither would be pleasant. I understand that he has a certain ambitions in which he thinks you might be a help or hindrance. I can run. I can hide. I don't need you." "The hell you don't. If I help you, you'll survive. If I don't, you may last 6 months. He smiled and coaxed. "Come on, Teresa. Use me." Classic weird dialogue moment. The fuck? Anyway. "People have been using you for most of your life. It's your turn now." She stared at him. He had suddenly turned from brutal frankness to a charisma that was almost mesmerizing. Not to me, man. Anyway. She had only been vaguely aware of him as a man. What? Oh, no. Oh my god. I read ahead. Okay. I'm gonna cringe right now. I have to do it. Okay. Anyway. She had only been vaguely... You're missing the cringe. She had only been vaguely aware of him as a man since he had appeared in her life tonight. He had been a threat and a puzzle, and the faint stirring of hope. Close-cut dark hair, blue eyes beneath slashing dark brows, high cheekbones, and a beautifully shaped, sensual mouth. How old? Late 20s. Early 30s. He was dressed in dark jeans and a sweatshirt, which we've already established, that revealed he was lean but muscular and very strong in spite of his slimness. He had carried her with no problem at all. We're gonna die. I think we're gonna blow up. Anyway. Who are you? Not your name, man dick. Who are you to me? Who am I? He thought about it. Your savior? Your teacher? Anything else will have to be worked out between us. Why would you say that? Okay, anyway. Savior? I killed 3 men for you tonight. Doesn't that qualify? How did you even know I was in those woods tonight? I've been waiting and watching. I knew it was going to happen soon. What? How? Because it wasn't reasonable that they'd let you go peacefully. It would have been too dangerous for Kamano. He paused. I didn't know that your mother was involved. I don't want to talk about her, she said shakily. She didn't mean for anyone to hurt me. She loves me. Very well, but I had to know if she's a threat. Why? Why do you have to know anything? Who the hell are you? How do I know that you won't try to sell me to Kamano? I don't know you, but I know you. I've been watching you for a long time. Thank God my mother has found the App Store. Congrats. Thank you, Mom. Thank you for finding the App Store. Classic old person technology moment. Good stuff. He held up his hand as she opened her lips to speak. No. Opened her lips was bad. Like that? Because it's not... Like, your mouth is... You know? Like, your whole thing. What are we doing? Anyway, sorry. Open her lips to speak. I'll tell you as much as I can. I've been keeping an eye on your father and his relationship with you for the last few years after it came to my attention. She stiffened. What came to your attention? He only stared at her. What? She said through clenched teeth. You're bluffing. You don't know anything about me. You couldn't. I know that your father your father discovered what he thought was a treasure trove in you and exploited it for at least 2 years. I know Kamano probably killed him and is wavering between trying to use you the way your father did or killing you to be sure you don't reveal that he was the one who ordered the kill. He paused. Tell me, do you know for certain that it was Kamano? How could I? She asked cautiously. Even the police weren't sure that he killed my father. Her lips twisted. Not that they cared. They were just glad to get rid of one more gangster. When Kamano became Don, they just refocused their attention and forgot about my father. She had a sudden thought. Or maybe they didn't. Are you with the police? Is that how you know so much about me? He shook his head. God, no, but it's refreshing of you to jump to that connection. At least you're not still thinking I'm going to sell you to Kamano. Well, hold on. You could be a cop and still do that. I'm just saying. I'm not sure that you're not. You know too much about me. She defiantly met his eyes. Or do you? Just what do you know, man dick? You want it all? I know you're the only child of Antonio Casali and his wife, Gina. Casali was pretty much a scumbag and involved in murder, vice, and Okay. Vice should have gone first. Vice is not as bad as murder, but go off. And longshore racketeering. I don't even know what that is, but that probably is also not as bad as murder. He was so dirty he managed to climb up to head the New Jersey Mafia. 3 weeks ago, he was gunned down in the streets of Trenton. He paused. You went to the funeral, but then you disappeared from view. I assumed that it was your mother's doing to get you away from Kamano, who had just taken power. Is that right? She nodded jerkily. I thought that it was going to be okay. I prayed that she wouldn't do it. Do what? Betray you? She didn't answer. He was studying her face. Too late, he said softly. You've already slipped and told me too much. You're her daughter. Why would she do that to you, Teresa? Why should I tell you? She asked bitterly. You believe you know it all. But all that stuff you rattled off doesn't mean anything. Guesswork. Or you could have read it in the newspaper. Then should I go a step farther? Your parents were far too busy to take care of you. Your father was a mob boss who had ambitions to take over the entire Northeast Territory. Your mother liked being married to Casali and acting the queen bee. She had no time to be a mother. You were sent away to boarding school from the time you were 6. You didn't seem to mind. You did extraordinarily well at school. You're exceptionally bright, and very early on, the teachers found out that you had a special talent. You have a photographic memory. She stiffened. She didn't like where this was going. No big deal. It's not common, but photographic memory isn't really that special. Special enough. The school principal advised your parents, and they were curious enough to bring you home and show you off for amusement value. Your mother particularly liked to be the center of attention. The glow didn't last long, and they sent you back to school about 6 months later. He grimaced. I bet you were relieved. You liked your books and your teachers and had no desire to be a star. But those months held their own magic, she wanted to tell him. For the first time, she had felt important to her mother. Her father was always cold and had never paid any attention to her, but her mother had been a beautiful butterfly who fluttered and smiled and occasionally lingered in Teresa's world for a brief instance. Are you nuts? I was no star. I told you, a photographic memory isn't all that rare. But you were relieved to go back to school? Maybe. But it didn't last long, did it? 2 years later, This is exposition crime. Like, it's like writing a text block at the beginning of the movie and then starting the movie. This is what this is. This is goddamn annoying. Fuck me, dude. Goddamn. But it didn't last long, did it? 2 years later, the school expelled you and sent you home. They couldn't deal with you. He paused. Would you like to tell me why? Her hands clenched into fists. She couldn't breathe. He knew. Shall I tell you? He asked softly. It wasn't the photographic memory. They could have handled that in a student, but the talent had changed. Metamorphosed. In those 2 years. The teachers and students were regarding you as a freak. They felt insecure and afraid of you. Nightmare time. Loneliness. Oh, the aching loneliness. It was all rushing back to her. They were idiots. I didn't want to hurt anyone. I'm sure you didn't, he said gently, but even the teachers weren't prepared for what you were able to do. I didn't want to do it. I just looked at them, and it was there before me. What? She didn't answer. What, Teresa? Why are you asking me? I don't know who told you, but you know. Damn you. Tell me. The memories, she said unevenly. I could read their memories. I had a fucking feeling. Whoever wrote this, okay, it was a woman. She sat here and implied the ever-loving fuck out of a superpower. So glad my intuitions were correct. Anyway, whenever they remembered anything, it was clear as glass to me. You couldn't read minds, but you could read past thoughts, past actions, memories. Intimidating. I didn't want to do it. I didn't know what was happening to me. At first I thought I was actually reading their minds, but it was blank for me, unless they were remembering something. But one was as bad as the other. No one would believe me. They thought I was lying. She moistened her lips. Okay, that's two. You're going to jail. But it was worse when they did begin to believe me. They kicked you out and sent you back to your parents. I was glad to go. I didn't think it could get any worse. But it did. Yes, she whispered. My father was interested. Okay, why are we talking about this if this guy already knows what's happened and she already knows what happened? This is just for us. This is just for the audience, which is bad. This is bad. Wow. It's terrible. Jesus. I already cringed for exhibition. I'm sorry. What's it? What's the word I just used? It was literally a minute ago. Exposition. This book is making me dumber before your very eyes. How many printer apps are there? Probably a couple. Epson, brother, I'm naming brands that I imagine would have apps. HP. I don't know. Could be 3, maybe. I don't know. Maybe a couple. Not more than 5. Maybe more than 5, but like those are the 3 that would be on top if you googled printer app, you know? Anyway, where was I? Okay. It wasn't like before when I was just a curiosity. He thought that I might be. He wanted to see if he could use me. Your mother? She said I should do whatever my father said. She said this time we had to keep it a big secret just between the 2 of them and me. She made me go to this fancy Dr. Kramer on 5th Avenue. He was a psychiatrist. He told my mother and father that he didn't believe in what the school was telling him, but he'd investigate and let them know. She said hoarsely. I hated it. He kept asking me questions over and over. He wanted to know how I knew when someone was making contact with someone's memory. When I was making contact with someone's memory. I told him that it was like being sucked into a dark tunnel, and suddenly I was just there. He told me to stop making up stories. He'd use big words like hippocampus and frontal cortex. He'd tape wires and stuff on my head. He'd bring in strangers and try to trick me into saying the wrong things about what they were remembering. It went on and on. But then you found out you weren't making up the stories. Yes, all those tests showed that my brain appeared to make contact with the amygdala segment of the brain of anyone with whom I came in close contact. Those are the cells that harbor memory. He told Mother that there was evidence of stimulation in both brains. He said that my sensation of being pulled into a tunnel was my mind focusing, making adjustments. That tunnel signal interests me, Mandic said. It may indicate you're struggling for control. Control? Are you crazy? I have no control. I just have to accept. My mother was excited, but she told me that I wasn't to go back to see Dr. Kramer. He wanted to write an article for some medical journal, and that was making my father angry. He didn't want anyone to know about what I could do. Exit Dr. Kramer. Cringe. Anyway. What? Oh, okay. I don't know. My mother said he was going to Europe to study for some degree. How convenient. Though she had accepted what her mother had said at the time, that's what Teresa had thought in the years that followed. People who displeased her father often just went away, never to be seen again. I was glad at the time. I hated going to his office. But you hated more what happened when your father and mother believed his report. Yes, she said jerkily. I hate jerkily, but I'll let it slide. And what did your father make you do? She didn't answer for a moment. She didn't know why she had already told him as much as she had. Secrets. Her mother had told her that she mustn't tell anyone that it was a secret. But she was alone now, and this man might have saved her life. And just telling someone about those years made her feel less vulnerable. Normally it's the opposite, but sure, go off. They'd sit me down in the library with my father and whoever he chose to bring home with him, she said haltingly. Sometimes it was one of his men, sometimes a politician, sometimes it was someone from another mob. He'd ignore me, but he'd laugh and joke with them. I guess that they thought it was a little weird to have me there, but maybe they felt safer and more at ease having a kid in the room. After they'd left, I'd have to tell my father what memories had surfaced in their minds during the visit. She closed her eyes. So ugly, mean and cruel and ugly. Memories are never anything like what's on the surface. They're almost always selfish, and the reasons why anyone does something are usually based on what they remember as being good or pleasant for them in the past. But often what those men thought pleasant was cruel and bloody, and her eyes opened, and she stopped as those memories began to come alive for her again. Sometimes I wanted to throw up. I begged my father not to make me do it. He wouldn't listen. My mother said that it was my duty, and that I mustn't say anything that might upset him. Did it continue until he was killed? No, she drew a shaky breath, until about 6 months ago. I knew what my father was by that time. At first, I was numb and scared and just did what he told me to do. Then I began to wonder what effect telling my father about those memories was having on those people he had me read. One night, Ned Jokeman came to see my father. He had worked for him for years. His memories were bad. Death, cheating, bribes. After I gave my father the report, he seemed angry. He stormed out of the house. I followed him. He went to the guest house where Jokeman was staying. My father's men dragged Jokeman out into the woods and made him kneel. She shuddered. My father shot him in the head. Blood and bits of skull and brains flying everywhere. Okay, I feel so bad that you can't read this with me, because here is the page. Focus. Thank you. Here's the page I just read, right? And here is the dialogue I just read. And here's the next sentence that sounds like it should be dialogue based on the conversation that we're having, but isn't dialogue. Feels relevant for the shit-ass dialogue, but dialogue all the same, but isn't dialogue. And I'm not going to tell you every time this is not dialogue. You're just going to assume it's dialogue, but it's not. I missed 7 pages? I'm afraid so. And they have been a miserably bad 7 pages, so I'm sorry. This is, you were not fucking around when you said this was the worst book. Like, it's bad. Like, it's bad. Anyway. Let's see here. I screamed. I kept on screaming. My father hit me and hit me again. I deserved it. It was my fault. She swallowed. My fault. My fault. Repeating things in dialogue really bothers me. Repeating things in general bothers me. Unless you're, like, really driving a point home, which... that wasn't good enough for me. I'm never getting a printer I need an app for. So true. Printer? I was just talking about this the other day with my coworker. Sometimes there are tasks online or technology-wise that need to be done on the computer. And printing is one of those jobs. You can't ask me to print something on my phone. So I won't be doing that, thank you. Printing is a computer task. No, it wasn't. Don't tell me that, she said fiercely. I told my father what Jokeman remembered doing, and he dragged him out in the woods and killed him. It wouldn't have happened if I hadn't told him. It wouldn't have happened if I'd shut away those memories and blocked them. His eyes narrowed on her face. Can you do that? She was silent. Sometimes. Not often. But I can pretend, she said quickly. I can make people think I'm not able to do it any longer. Is that how you kept your father from forcing you to tap into anyone's memories after he killed Jokeman? She was silent. It would be the only way to do it, he said. He wouldn't give up such a prized advantage, and he obviously didn't give a damn about you. Did he make it rough on you? Yes. How? This is not dialogue. The regular beatings with the belt, the ropes, isolation, verbal and physical abuse. It doesn't matter. Dialogue. It doesn't matter. It's over. Your mother didn't interfere? He didn't understand about Gina. Nothing bad ever touched her. Beautiful butterflies never interfered in anything ugly. What's the worst... IT hat off, headphones back on. What's the worst line so far? I don't know. This whole section pissed me the fuck off. Moistened her lips was pretty bad. Anything... well, okay. Worst one was close cut, dark hair, blue eyes beneath slashing, dark brows, high cheekbones, and a beautifully shaped, sensual mouth. That's probably my least favorite line so far. Close second, late 20s, early 30s. Also quite bad, considering she was just thinking about how attractive he was as a 16-year-old, and trying to determine his age, which was, notably, way too old for her. Alright, anyway, moving forward. But she had come to Teresa after every punishment and held her in her arms and dried her tears. Italics. I know, baby, Gina had whispered as she held her close and stroked her hair. I grew up with beatings, too. You just have to do whatever you have to do to survive. Give him what he wants, if you can. Just remember that I'm always here for you. No longer in italics. That's all we get about his age, by the way? So they're like, he could be 16. Maybe. But don't worry, that I know, like, that's crazy. Why are, like, realistically, just his position in the book so far is indicative that he is too old to be with her. Does she... Hold on. A lot of books, what they'll do to cover pedophilia is they'll time skip later. And that... Oh, sorry. For years. Which means she ages up, which means it's okay now. My eye is on you, okay? This is... My eyebrow... I don't want to give too much away. It's... It's okay. We will read it. We will certainly read it. Anyway. Teresa? She didn't answer. You fooled him? I had to make him believe, she said jerkily. I couldn't do what he wanted any longer. It helped that I couldn't stop crying for days after it happened. He thought maybe I was going crazy. Yes, I can see how that would help convince the son of a bitch, Mandic said harshly. A raving maniac wouldn't be of much use to him. He was silent. Did you try getting away from him? Once. He caught me and locked me up. Then 2 weeks later he was killed. And I thought that I'd be free. But you weren't free. It's difficult keeping a secret as valuable and intriguing as your father was trying to do. Just the fact that you, a child... The fact that we fucking acknowledged, that, she's a child is a good sign. Anyway, we're present at certain crucial meetings was unusual. There had to be leaks. Kamano knew about you and wanted to take over the action. He paused. Or to get rid of you before you could read some of his memories that might prove fatal for him. No, she said sharply. That wouldn't happen. I'm never going to do that again. But you can't help yourself, can you? You wouldn't do it intentionally, but if you leave yourself open, don't the memories come flooding? Her eyes widened in shock. How do you know that? Don't they? Trying to annotate, but my pens suck. Boo. My condolences about your pens. You're being oppressed. Panic was suddenly racing through her. Why was she even talking to him? Why had the answers to his question tumbled out helter-skelter? What? Tumbled out helter-skelter? Okay, that's my new least favorite line. I know pedophilia is pretty bad, but tumbled out helter-skelter was pretty horrific. I have to run an ad. So I'm gonna do that. I will be right back. Everybody sit tight during the ad. Okay, I'm back now. Moistened her lips has been said twice now, so do you have a preference on which one? Um, cause I can go back and look. Either if chance. Okay. So I was pretty pissed that she did it twice. It's pretty close together. Twice in like 20. Yeah. Because we are only just now on page 19. so yes. Oh, was moisten her lips in the first section? Yes, it was. Yes, it was. It was in the first section. And the second one was in the second section. Right? Because... It's pretty early, wasn't it? Not that early. She faded to the left. Classic. Where the hell was it? Aha! Okay. Moistened her lips, part 1, is on page 8, about the middle of the page, depending. I do have the hardcover version. I don't know if you've got the same version, but middle page 8. And then... Oh, yes. Opened her lips to speak. That was a little bit after. A little bit before the second version. Same version. Okay, perfect. Happy to hear. She moistened her lips. Page 14. Top-ish. Middle top. Closer to the top. It's the third paragraph. Anyway. That would never happen. How do you know that? Okay. Why had the answers to his question tumbled out helter-skelter? Perhaps because he already seemed to know so much already. No problem. But those facts could have been learned by diligent research, but not the way the memories worked. That was what was scaring her to death. There wasn't any way he could know how that worked. No one could know how people's memories flowed gently to her at times and others came and went like wind and thunder, or how impossible it was to stop them when they wanted to be heard. I frightened you. His gaze was searching her face. You're such a tough kid. I keep forgetting that I'm supposed to deal gently with you. It's not my modus operandi. Okay. This is fun. Anyway. You didn't frighten me, then she said hoarsely. Yes, you did. You know too much. Things you shouldn't know. But it's nothing I can't get over. I just have to find out if it's going to hurt me. Why are you telling him this? That's why it's so hard to figure out what's dialogue and what's not. Like, I mean, I can see it because there's formatting. There's like visual textual cues. But you guys don't have those. The only way you know is if it's first person or third. So it's a good thing this book is in third person, because otherwise you literally wouldn't be able to tell. I'm so fucking sorry. There's nothing I can do. I guess what I could do. Hold on. We're about to go really fucking crazy with this. You can totally see it too. That rocks. Okay. Do that, and then we'll do. Whoops. Oh shit. Uh-huh. I forgot I have a traditional art thing. Okay. So it's a little bit shitty, but you get the gist. Like now you can look at it. So I'll just have to be careful about what I'm up to. But I unfortunately need to point so I know where I'm at. So that'll be unfortunate for you. But anyway, so now we can see the page numbers. Okay, this is good. Anyway, so we're down here. But it's nothing I can't get over. I just have to find out if it's going to hurt me. It might, but not right away. You'll have a chance to recover and develop good defenses. That's all I can promise you. What? What the fuck does that mean? Okay, anyway. Now you can't see my face, so I'll have to emote with my hands. That'll be good for you. Anyway. He smiled. Wait, are you being honest with me? He smiled faintly. Yes. Can't you tell? Why don't you see what kind of horrendous memories I'm storing away? It might help. I told you that I won't do that again. It's not what... But she could see the familiar darkness of the tunnel pulling her, his memories flowing toward her, overwhelming her. And she could feel herself reaching out, searching. Nothing. Blank. Like a mirrored golden wall. She was stunned. You've never run across a block? You can do that? Yes, and so can you if you let me help you. Accept it. Isn't it really a relief not to be able to read me? Relief? It was weird and terrifying. There was nothing comforting about this blankness. It was like looking at the edge of a machete that could turn and cut in a heartbeat. Who are you? You said you weren't the police. And I'm not. That doesn't mean I can't offer you a certain amount of protection. He opened a bottle of water and handed it to her. And that I may eventually be able to give you a gift that you'll find priceless. What gift? She asked warily. You have a talent that's wild and erratic. I can teach you to block and control. Wouldn't that be wonderful? He asked softly. I can give that to you, Teresa. I don't want to control it. I want to get rid of it. He shook his head. That's not one of the options. Then just let me go and I'll work it out for myself. She took a drink of water, then asked, Why can't I read your memories? Control and blocking. Which makes me stronger than you. You've been surrounded by people who have made you a victim. Aren't you tempted to make sure it doesn't happen again? All I want is to get away from here and stay alive. That's part of the package. It is? She was trying to think, trying to work it out. You know what's happening in my head, or at least some of it. Is it because you're a freak like me? You're not a freak. You're very special. He shook his head. People call me special too, but I don't possess your gift. You're not unique, but your ability is rare. I don't share it. Be grateful, she said bitterly. Oh, I am. I have enough on my plate without that, but it's not as if I couldn't deal with it. It's a tricky path, and you've been dealing with the wrong guides, he smiled. For instance, I'm a guide without equal. You think well of yourself. He nodded. Confidence is a valuable weapon. But even if you aren't like me, that doesn't mean you're not a freak. Special is only a pretty word for it. People use you, and when they're through with you, they push you away because you're different. Then you learn to wear a mask and push back when it becomes necessary. Like you pushed back tonight, you killed those men. It was necessary. If they'd caught you, they probably would have killed you. Wouldn't you have fought back? He stared her in the eye. Didn't you intend to kill if you had to do it? That's different. He chuckled. It's always different in the first person. Much like the point of view of a book, which I have opinions on. Anyway, But you had no reason to do it. You had no quarrel with them. You could have walked away. No, I couldn't have walked away. He paused. And I had a very good reason. What? I had to pay in advance for services rendered. What services? Future services. What future? She stopped as he shook his head. Services. That means you want to use me too. I won't deny it, he said quietly. But you'll find I always pay for what I want. But you're not ready for me to offer you a deal yet. Can he see in the future? Is that his power? Is that what we're doing? Is that how he knows everything? Is he seen her tell her? He's seen her tell him already? Is that what we're doing? This feels very lame to me. Like, okay, anyway. Whatever. He was being annoyingly deceptive. She changed the subject. How do you know what goes on in my head? Are you some kind of slimy egotist like Dr. Kramer? She shook his head again. Stop doing that. She wanted to hit him. She was brimming with frustration. I want to know who you are and what you have to do with me. I'm sure you do, but that's not an option either. You'll find out in time, but you need that time. You're only 16, Teresa. You say you want to help me, but that's not true, is it? You're like everyone else. You said you wanted to use me. Yes, I do. He reached out and gently tucked a strand of hair behind her ear. Ew! In the end, we all use each other. I'll take what I want from you, but I'm giving you a chance to grow and strengthen and fight me. I consider that very generous, don't you? She didn't know what she thought. His hand was exquisitely gentle against her temple, and his light eyes were mesmerizing. Ew. She was tired and frightened and desperate, and she had to ignore the physical appeal of Mandic. It had nothing to do with who he really was. Her father had been sleek and handsome too, but inside he was ugly, or he'd never had those chilling, callous memories. And she couldn't know what memories Mandic was hiding, and that was scary in itself. It's all double talk. How do you expect me to make sense of you? She went on a rush. That doesn't mean I'm going to let you fool me. What? How would you keep Kamano away from me? Have you disappear? Create a new identity. You've heard of the Witness Protection Program? Something similar to that. It wouldn't work. They'd find me. My father had the police in his pocket. Kamano took over and kept the bribes going. We wouldn't deal with local authorities. I have someone high up in the U.S. Marshals Service who would want to make sure that all information was strictly confidential. Josh Dantlow would handle the details of your resettlement himself. And any Okay, why the fuck would I care? I don't know Josh Dantlow. What do you mean? That's completely irrelevant to me. Thank you so much. Yeah. Josh Dale. Oh, that guy. Immediately makes me feel better. Can't wait to talk to him. Anyway. And any communication would only be through him or me. She gazed at him skeptically. You doubt it would work? Dantlow would answer to me. There's no question that he would betray me. You killed 3 men tonight. If he is government, are you saying that he'd turn a blind eye to murder? I'm saying that I have him under control. He shrugged, and that he'd probably regard that scum as unimportant in the scheme of things. They all had records a mile long. I did the police a favor in removing them. Your opinion. And yours. You weren't crying when you saw those bodies. You were shocked. You were a little sick, but all you could think about was that men who were trying to kill you had been taken out. They were the enemy. He paused. Like your father. Like Rico Kamano. He was right, she thought warily. Why was she arguing when she might have been dead except for his lethal intervention? He had been there when she needed him most. She could never trust him. She could never trust anyone, but by that single act of violence, he had formed a chain it would be hard for her to break. But you're like Kamano. You're like my father. You said that you were going to use me. She glared at him. How? I won't do it if there's any way I can get out of it. Would you beat me? Would you kill me if I learned too much? A beautiful young girl like you? What a waste that would be. So that's good. Hate naming dropping. I know! Why did we do that? Stupid as hell. Anyway. You didn't answer me. No, but I've told you that I'm giving you your chance to save yourself, he added. And I'll promise to make sure that you'll be safe until you're ready for me. That will probably be at least a few years, he smiled. After all, it would be to my advantage to keep Kamano at bay and you alive. As you pointed out, you're no good to me if I can't use you. Promises? I can't trust your word. I don't know anything about you. You'll have the opportunity to learn more. Once I have you settled, I'll be visiting you frequently. No! I want you to leave me alone. He didn't answer. No, of course he wouldn't. He had told her he was in control of the situation, and he was manipulating her into a position where he'd remain in control. What would you do with me? Find you a safe place, surround you with safe people, let you grow and learn? It sounds too good, she said doubtfully. Where do you fit in? Oh, I'm a very important part of the picture. I guard your body. Uh? Uh? What? Huh? And the worst part is the next part of the sentence, and I can give you gifts that only I can provide, isn't much fucking better. Good stuff. He smiled. Because I can teach you how to block those memories assaulting you and push them away to some extent. It's one of my more freakish talents. In some cases, I can also create a complete barrier and make you unable to read some of the people surrounding you so that you can have a few normal relationships. Her eyes widened. You could do that? He nodded. My pleasure. I thought you'd like that. Like? It would seem like a miracle to her, to reach out and touch and not have the poison of being thought strange or having everyone be afraid of her. It's been a long time. Not everything went wrong when I was a kid. Not since everything went wrong when I was a kid. And he had probed and studied her and decided that this was an offer she couldn't refuse. The idea that he was right and that she desperately wanted what he said he could give her suddenly made her suddenly angry. You're probably lying. I'm not lying, he said. I promise you. How do I know that? You're setting all of this up and expecting me to go along with it. You can go to hell, she said defiantly. I'll do what I please. He smiled faintly. And you'll be pleased to go along with the plan, at least in the beginning. The Witness Protection Program is eminently respectable and will give you the opportunity to take it on the lam if you begin to feel threatened. I'll have Dantlow give you impeccable references to verify his identity. On the other hand, it may be the only sure way to save your life. True? So true that it was filling her with desperation and panic. She had no money and no friends. She wasn't afraid to go out on her own, but she knew that the odds would be against her, and she would not let Kamano kill her. It might be true, she said reluctantly. He nodded. Then you agree. She was silent, considering if she had any other choices. Temporarily. Don't expect it to last. He chuckled. God, you're stubborn. And what a firecracker. Stubborn and full of fire, anger and fire. His smile faded. But who could blame you? Defense mechanisms all the way. You're talking like one of those doctors again. Are you sure that you're... Very sure. He was putting out the campfire. And now that we're on the same page, let's get the hell out of here. I had to take the time to bind that wound and come to terms with you, but I want to be over the Kentucky border by dawn. What's in Kentucky? An airport at What the fuck? Where are we then? All we know is we were housed in Jersey at one point. Are we in Jersey now? Are we leaving on foot? Huh? We're not exactly. Where are we? If it's implying that we're not in Jersey, but we could be if we're not going by. Also, sadly, Jersey mentioned my condolences. But if we're implicitly not in Jersey, or we could be, but we would have to be taking a car or a plane or something to get over the Kentucky border by dawn. If we are in Jersey. This is terrible. Anyway. What's in Kentucky? An airport at Louisville and a meeting with Josh Dantlow. She stiffened. You made an appointment with him before you talked to me? Yes, and save the complaints. Time was important. You'll have a lot more to be pissed off about before this is over. He reached down and half pulled, half lifted her to her feet. Can you walk? Yes. Her knees were shaking. She took a tentative step forward. Give me a minute. Screw it. Time's still important. He lifted her in his arms and headed for the car, parked by the road. Okay. Car. There's one other thing that I have to tell you. He was looking straight ahead. Dantlow will ask you if you want to include any other family members in the Witness Protection Program. He'll ask about your mother. I didn't tell him that she wouldn't be acceptable. He smiled crookedly. I didn't know myself, but you'll have to do it now. Pain. Sadness. Not acceptable? Who would ever believe that beautiful Gina wouldn't be welcomed anywhere? Teresa? He was looking down at her. It has to be done. If it's true that she betrayed you to Kamano, are you certain? She didn't answer. Teresa. I'm certain. She cleared her throat. I didn't want to believe it, but no one else knew I was here. I know she didn't want to do it. He probably lied to her. My mother knows she has to do what Kamano wants her to do. She was always saying that we were both weak and had to obey if we were going to survive. She could feel the tears sting her eyes. And I knew it was coming. At my father's funeral, I could see it. See what? My mother, Kamano. They were smiling at each other. She was remembering how much she liked being the queen, and that the queen that my father made her. The fancy resorts, the designer clothes, the respect and fear she could sense in all the people around her when she was with my father. It was her whole life, and I could see that I wasn't important in comparison. It was the only power and glamour that she had. It was only the power and the glamour she'd had as his wife. Now Kamano has the power. She closed her eyes, and I knew she'd reach out and take Kamano if she could get him. It would be her way to survive. I prayed she wouldn't. She whispered. How I prayed. She's his mistress now? I guess so. Anyone would want her. She's so beautiful. I always thought she was like a wonderful butterfly. Thanks for letting me know, man. Oh yeah, watch out for her mom's chapters. What the hell are you talking? That's crazy. What do you mean? I'm so pissed to hear about that. Like, something to unpack when we get there, for sure. Where was I? Okay. And evidently with a soul that was not all beautiful, and certainly not wonderful to you. She never hurt me, not like my father. She'd smile when she saw me. She even brought me presents sometimes. She opened her eyes. She dazzled me. She dazzled everyone. So beautiful. Like content-wise, may not be safe for stream. Uh-oh! Good stuff. Good stuff. You'll be more beautiful in a few years. All her glamour, and with character, too. She shook her head. You're crazy. You have a softness towards your mother that could be fatal. He reached the car and was putting her down on the passenger side. You can't have any contact with her. I know. I'm not stupid, man dick. Kamano might force her to tell him where I am. She reached out to steady herself as he opened the car door. I knew when Tantana and the others came for me that I couldn't trust her to save me. I have to look out for myself. Right, and you may see a beautiful butterfly, but I'm seeing a prime bitch. Okay. Watch your mouth, man dick. He settled her in the seat and fastened her seatbelt. Good riddance to her, Allie. She frowned, puzzled. Allie? He reached out and touched her hair. Such pretty dark curls. It shines in the moonlight. It's a shame we'll have to tint it, but it's too eye-catching. What the fuck are you saying, bro? Hello? Okay. My chat cringe still worked. We're safe. Anyway. Allie? She repeated. He nodded. Get used to it. No more Teresa Casali. She's gone forever. You're Allie Gerard. Before she could answer, he'd slammed the car door and was running around to the driver's seat. Gone forever. No more Teresa Casali. The words repeated over and over in her mind as he started the car and drove onto the road. Loneliness. And relief. I was wondering how you'd take it. Dick's gaze was on her face. First shock, and then... I can start... What? What? Can she have nothing? Are you fucking kidding me, dude? Like... There's a weird sense of a lack of secrets between her and him. She can't have a single thought, feeling, or anything. Like, nothing without him knowing. It's very weird. I don't like it at all. It freaks me out. It gives me the ick, bro. In fact, I'm cringing. Anyway. Please be nice. Okay. Anyway. Okay. I can start over. No one will know I'm weird. Fresh start. I can make my life what I choose. She grimaced. If I can keep from getting killed. Not quite a fresh start. I'll still be in the picture. For the time being. He smiled. And I can see you're already plotting on how to get rid of me. It's possible. She lifted her chin and stared at him challengingly. If I don't find a reason to use you as you say you're going to use me. He chuckled. I look forward to watching you make the attempt, Allie. Allie, she repeated, trying to get used to the sound of it. What was the last name? Gerard. Just like Gerard Butler. Anyway, there's gonna be so many cringes. There's gonna be so many cringes. I don't even remember what we left off on with Ugly Love. This one feels like it's going much, much quicker. Anyway. She leaned back in the seat, her gaze on the darkness beyond the windshield. She could rid her life of that darkness. She could turn her back on all the ugliness. She could she could teach herself not to let herself see what she should not see. If she was strong enough, determined enough, she'd be able to do it. She might even take Mandic up on his offer to help her conquer that helplessness that had made those years a nightmare. Why not? He'd made no secret that she was only a means to some complex, shadowy end to him. He had said, use him, and she should have no compunction about doing it. Not if it meant that life could be different for her. Teresa Casali was gone, never to return. Only this new, strange person was left to reach out and take hold and shape the world to suit herself. A person named Ellie Gerard. LMAO! Like, what are we doing here? The fact that he said, I look forward to making you watch the attempt, even though he had literally invited her earlier in the book, mere pages ago, to use him. So I don't understand this dynamic that we have suddenly decided to go. Oh, God. Okay. We are getting there. Whoa. Chapters get kind of long later. Uh-oh. What? Chapter 10. Wait, what the hell? Oh, okay, never mind. Not all of them are like that. Okay. Phew. Anyway. Stonebridge, New Jersey, 3:40 a.m. She got away. Kamano muttered a curse as he... Oh. Interesting. Oh. Mom alert. Okay, anyway. Kamano muttered a curse as he hung up the phone. And Tantana and the others are dead. What? Gina raised herself on one elbow in bed. That's not possible. How did it happen? How the hell do I know? Navarro was driving the car. The last he heard from Tantana was that Teresa was running through the woods, and they were going after her. He tried to contact Tantana later, and there was no answer, so he went looking. He found the three of them in the woods. Whoever did the job knew what he was doing. Sexism alert! Could have been a woman. Fuck you. Anyway. He got out of bed and strode naked over to the bar and poured himself a drink. Maybe you should tell me what happened, Gina. You told me your freak of a daughter has no friends. There was no way she could have taken down Tantana and the others herself. Not given the skill, Navarro said the kills were done with. Of course she couldn't do it. Gina got out of bed and slipped on her cream-colored satin robe. You don't understand. She's just a kid. Teresa is only interested in her books and music. Okay. She moved across the room to the bar. And I don't appreciate your talking to me like that, Rico. Why would you think I'd know anything about how she got away? Haven't I done everything you asked me to do? I took her to the cabin, didn't I? Her smile was dazzling. Naturally, I know that you only meant to take Teresa somewhere more private than the compound and question her about a few things that are worrying you. I realized you would never harm her. She reached out and brushed her fingertips against his hand. Now, may I have a drink too? Kamano felt a jolt of pure lust at her touch. Long, shining dark hair, breasts and buttocks that made him get hard just looking at her. Good stuff. Good stuff. I love reading books, dude. What a magnificent bitch. Magnificent, excuse me. Good stuff. Extra good. I love calling women bitches. In a weird sexist way. Really awesome. I can't say I'm immune to saying the word bitch, but it's gender neutral for me. 1 out of 5 women in the book, by the way. So this is woman 2 that we've met so far. We will be keeping count. How many times had he had her tonight? He couldn't get enough of screwing her. He had a king-size craving for Gina since Casali had acquired her when she was only in her teens. Uh-oh. But then he had a craving for everything that belonged to Casali. It had been difficult to wait until the time was ripe to reach out and gather it into his hands. But he hadn't realized that Casali's brat, Teresa, was something he was going to have to deal with. Not until he saw her looking at him at her father's funeral. Freak. All he'd heard might or might not be true, but he wasn't going to give up all he'd snatched on the chance that big-eyed kid could be a threat to him. I didn't say that you had anything to do with this. He poured Gina a glass of wine. But I have to find out what happened. As long as Teresa's running around out there without you to guide her, she could be a danger to me. Then find her and bring her back to me. She sipped her wine. I have no problem making her do whatever I wish. Antonio always relied on me to handle her. I'm trying to find her, he said through set teeth. I've got men out there combing those woods to find answers, but she knows too much, damn it. I'm scared shitless that someone from the Vice Squad or the District Attorney's Office has heard about your freak of a kid and wants to question her. I've put an alert out to all our informants to see if there's any chat about her being snatched by the cops. She shook her head. The police wouldn't kill Tantana and the others, would they? Wouldn't they get in trouble or something? Yes. Occasionally, Gina came up with the logic, though that wasn't her forte. Calling a woman dumb. Boo. Don't like that. Even if the woman's evil, I actually don't care. Be nice to her. Although that was the kindest way to call her dumb. But still, my eye is on you. You did call her a bitch earlier, so I'm sure it's sexist. Okay, here we go. She preferred to twist reality to suit herself. But Teresa might be valuable enough for them to run the risk. Because you're so important, she said, and so smart. She took his hand and slipped it beneath the silk of her robe to cover her breast. Too smart for any of them. But you shouldn't worry about Teresa's being a witness against you or the family. Even if the police have her, she wouldn't say anything if I didn't want her to do it. His hand slowly tightened on her breast until he knew it must hurt. She didn't flinch, and her smile never left her lips. Ew. That actually freaks me out. I don't like that at all. And her smile never left her lips. Do you want it that way? I know you're upset. You know I'll never say no to you. I'll love every minute of what you do to me. Ugh. Okay. This is getting a bit much for me, but I'll keep going. That's it. I don't know what the line is. Like, this, you know what I'm saying? Like, I haven't read the rules on twitch.tv. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know what the law is. But technically I have the words showing on screen so you can read them. I don't know if it matters if I read them. So I'm just gonna keep going. 'Cause nothing actually happens worse than what has already occurred. She opened her robe, took his other hand, and put it on her other breast. Do whatever you want with me. Oh, I will. Gina was better than any professional whore he'd ever paid. She never disappointed. He found her acceptance of any erotic play he chose to be mind-blowing. You'll scream for me. He bent down, and his teeth closed on her nipple. She inhaled sharply at the pain. Good, and when it's over, I know you'll forget all about blaming me for Teresa. After all, none of it is my fault. She shouldn't have run when you only wanted to talk to her. No, nothing was ever Gina's fault. But could she really be lying to herself to this extent? Yes, probably. It didn't matter. She could control her daughter, and he could control Gina Casali. Yes, it's all Teresa's fault. He lifted his head and smiled into Gina's eyes. As opposed to smiling elsewhere? What the fuck does that mean? I hate this so much. What? Anyway. We both know that's all I wanted to do, don't we? Flagstaff, Arizona. Huh? Is this where we were? Are we trying to get to Kentucky from Arizona? That still feels kind of far. Whatever. What is this place? We can just keep traveling. Hello? Allie's gaze wandered over the snow-capped mountains in the distance as she went down the steps of the private plane. Where are you taking me? I thought you'd never ask. You haven't said a word since we got on the plane. Van Dyck followed her down the steps and took her elbow and... Okay, don't touch her. Took her elbow and nudged her down nudged her toward the small terminal. It's just a small private airport near the campus of Northern Arizona University. You'll be attending classes there in a few months. Okay, we are staying in Arizona. We have made it. If I'd asked you anything, I'd have had to count on you to tell me the truth, she shrugged. I've already committed to doing what you asked. I knew I'd find it all. I knew I'd find out eventually. His brows rose. No curiosity? She'd been curious, but the entire situation was intimidating her, and she hadn't wanted to plead with him to tell her what she wanted to know. Not until she'd gained a little more confidence. Maybe. She watched him as he signed out a tan Camry rental car at the curb. Maybe not. Well, that's definitive. He opened the passenger door for her. How's the wound in your side? Hurts. She received a blood transfusion before they left Kentucky, and the weakness had almost disappeared. But it's okay. She got into the car. You made me rest on the plane. That probably helped. I had to make sure you were in top-notch shape. He went around and got in the driver's seat. Perish the thought that I had even an ounce of humanity. I believe you're very human. She didn't look at him. I can feel you seething. Oh, can you? He started the car. That's interesting. He glanced at her. Anger? No. You're like one of those lava streams from a volcano. It would sear you to touch, but there's no malice present right now. You seem sure. His gaze turned speculative. What the fuck are we talking about? What does any of this mean? This is a bunch of mumbo-jumbo bullshit. What are we talking about? What does this mean? What are you saying? Anyway. I don't... Anyway. Perhaps you have another talent besides your gift for reading memory? No, heaven forbid. She grimaced. I just sometimes feel things. It's not all that unusual for someone to be able to guess what others are feeling. It doesn't have to be freak-oriented. There's that word again. No, it's not that unusual. Quite common for anyone studying the human psychology. You just appear to be more certain than I would have thought. He chuckled. Though I believe you've been studying and probing me since I wandered under your radar. I had the idea you were giving Josh Dantlow the same attention when you met him. What did you think of him? Smart? Very nice. She looked out the window. What you wanted me to think. And? Did I let his memories flow to me? Yes. I had to be sure that he was what you said he was. He was relatively clean, a little tortured about putting his mother in a nursing home before she died, and he's a little afraid of you because of something you did last year. It kept floating and interfering. She looked back at him, but I couldn't see anything that would make me think that he would hand me over to Kamana. And that's all that's important? I can handle anything else. She paused. Where are you taking me? I've rented a lodge in the mountains a few miles from the university campus. We have some work to do before I can turn you loose on your own. What kind of work? She asked warily. Blocking, principally. You said that you couldn't be sure of its working every time, sometimes not at all. You couldn't trust it. In crowds you became overwhelmed. I didn't tell you that. No, let's just say I had a feeling that was your problem. Because you've known other freaks like me. He flinched. I'm going to have to insist that you refrain from using that word. It offends me. It should offend you. We're going to have to work on your self-esteem. There's nothing wrong with my self-esteem. I just don't lie to myself. I am what I am. Haha, he's a pussy bitch who can't be handle being called a freak. He's such a pussy. I don't like this guy. Anyway. I keep forgetting his name, too, because we keep referring to him as Mandic. But that's referring to someone by their last name feels too respectful. This situation that we are in at current feels a little too personal somehow. Like, he knows every little thing about us, but we are calling him by his last name, a very impersonal thing to do, which is a very, very weird situation to be in the sense that we know nothing about him. It's very uncomfortable. He gets the protection of aloofness and distance in this situation, but we do not. We being the main character, because that's us, obviously. That's how it works every time we read something. Yeah, that's fine. A lot of books are that way, where you're supposed to kind of, like, align yourself with the main character, so I do that. Like, not every book is meant for that, but a lot of the slop books we read are, if that makes sense. Like, if a good book written well, I don't necessarily have to feel like I am the main character. You know what I'm saying? Because this book still reads like first person. Just saying. Okay, anyway. Okay. Because people told you that you're a freak doesn't mean it's true. It doesn't mean it's untrue. It's all a matter of perspective. In most people's eyes, I'm a freak. She looked him in the eye. Right? He nodded slowly. If you want to believe that other people have the right to judge, personally I think that's crap, don't you? That's a defense to keep you from admitting that. She stopped. That sounded like something Dr. Kramer would say. Yes, it's pure crap. No one should judge someone else if they're not harming anyone. Then we have an agreement. I'd better enjoy it. I have an idea they'll come rarely. She changed the subject. What else are you going to teach me? Oh, a few other things. We can discuss it later. Why not now? Because we've arrived. He pulled into the driveway of a small, rustic, one-story chalet. You don't have to know everything right away. No curiosity, remember? I didn't say that. I said maybe. She jumped out of the car as soon as it stopped. Is there anybody else here? No. We have a maid service every 3 days. Other than that, we're on our own. For how long? Until you're ready for me to let you go. He got out of the car. Come on, try to relax. Didn't you say Dantlow vetted me when you said you were probing? She made a rude sound. Very descriptive. Good stuff right here. She made a rude sound. Don't piss me off. Anyway, I told you he's afraid of you. What happened last year? He sighed. You're impossible. He unlocked the front door and entered into a large, high-ceilinged... I guess you can say high-ceilinged. But I wish you didn't. Sure, you can. You did. But that doesn't mean it was good. Anyway, living room dominated by huge stone fireplace and comfortable brown leather furniture. Your room is the second door on the right. Shower and change. Be careful about that wound and don't get your bandage wet. Very possible in the shower. I'll make us something to eat. She stood, gazing at him uncertainly as he headed across the great room toward the open kitchen beyond it. She was suddenly feeling very vulnerable. I don't know how you haven't felt vulnerable before now, but I'll let that slide. He looked back at her. What's wrong? Do you need help? Say the word, he smiled. I became fairly familiar with that body of yours while I was dealing with that wound. I have no problem with taking care of it for another night or two. IT hat again? Good luck out there, man. Oh, wait. IT hat again like you're coming back from ITing? Or IT hat again you're going to IT again? My condolences either way. Being IT is cool. Me too. This book is quite bad. Can't wait. Alright, anyway. No, she felt a flush heat her cheeks. She didn't know what he was thinking. His smile was slightly sensual. That's good. Though his words held no hint of intimacy, I'm just catching my breath. She turned in the direction he indicated. I can take care of myself. Pity. He turned back and okay. I was gonna let it slide, but I can't. And headed for the kitchen again. I'll give you 40 minutes, then I'll check to make sure you're all right. I'll be fine, she said firmly. 40 minutes. Right on time, he turned as Allie came toward him across the great room. You even washed your hair. What else would I have done? 40 minutes is a long-ass time for not what? What do you mean? 40 minutes and you even No, I had to wash my hair because I took 40 fucking minutes. Shower, 4 minutes tops. Okay? If we're going quick, showers don't take that long. And I mean that. I've seen it. I've done it. Showering is not hard. It does not need to take 40 minutes unless you're there on a pleasure cruise, which is not a crime. You may go on a pleasure cruise while you're showering. That is none of my business. How long you shower? Not my business, okay? Maybe it's warm and pleasant in there. Maybe you're thinking, hanging out. Whatever, man. Whatever you gotta do. But you can't look at me and tell me 40 minutes and then you washed your hair, even. Fuck you. Of course I did. What else would I have been doing? Because realistically, the actual showering process takes 3 to 4 minutes. And then the rest of it's hanging out. So, jot that down. Anyway, high-ceilinged qualm? Wait, what the hell? I'm actually so skeeved out by this username. Okay, wait. What the fuck? Anyway, have bot names always been this on the nose? For like what's going on? This feels a little too convenient, but anyway, I guess it doesn't really matter. It's just a little weird. Anyway, you even washed your hair. Very clumsily, she made a face, but it was filthy from the woods. I had to do it. Yeah, man, 'cause you were given 40 fucking minutes. And exhausted yourself. He held her chair for her. Sit down. Drink some water. I'll get the pot pies out of the oven. She picked up the water goblet beside the plate and took a drink as she watched him. It was strange sitting here. She felt awkward and uneasy. He was treating her as if she were a grown-up and his equal. All her life she had been the victim, the child, the puppet. Her only importance had been the gift that was more a curse. No one had been interested in talking to her or asking her opinions or wanting to be with her. Mandic might not want to be with her, but he was treating her as if she had value. It felt odd. Here we go. He turned away from the oven and moved toward the table. It's hot. Don't eat it yet. Okay. Don't fucking tell me what to do. He slid the pot pie onto her plate. He hesitated, looking down at her. What are you thinking? He asked softly. She stiffened. Why do you want to know? Not to use it against you. He slid his own pie onto his plate and moved across the room toward the counter. You just had a peculiar expression, and I wanted to know what was going on in that head of yours. I was simply interested. Unlike you, I admit to curiosity. I find you extraordinary. Thanks, man. Gonna have to pass. He held up his hand and as she opened her lips to speak. I hate that shit. That's two. And not in the way you think. That part of you is just something we have to work with. The other aspects of your psychological makeup are fascinating. Why? You're a complex combination of child and mature woman. Huh? No. Just child. No mature woman, just child. Okay. Good stuff. I'm wondering which side you're going to show me next. He sat down and spread his napkin on his lap, and firecrackers are always interesting. He picked up his fork and repeated, What were you thinking? She was silent. I was thinking that no one but you has ever treated me. Why are you admitting to things? Stop! Stop! I'm gonna lose my fucking mind. Stop telling him things. You are allowed to not tell him things. He isn't owed information. You are owed information. You are the one in the weird situation. You are the one who's in witness protection now. You should be asking him the questions, not you. God damn. Oh, hi, Kat. How are you? Welcome back from IT. I hope it went well. If possible. Anyway. I was thinking that no one but you has ever treated me like this. Everyone else has always had a reason to. She rushed ahead. Not that you don't have a reason, but you're not looking at me the same way. Answer the question of how many people does it take to set up an Etsy account? It was 3. Oh, okay. That seems like more than usual. So it sounds like ITing went well. Anyways, you mean like a human being? Normal? I don't know if... She picked up her fork and started to cut the pastry on her pot pie. You confuse me. I have to figure it out. It was over the phone with my mom for my grandma. Oh, so a nice game of telephone, but literally. That's good. That that's good IT stuff for sure. You bewilder me a bit too, but I'm looking forward to exploring the unknown, he smiled. Tell me, how are you used to having people look at you, Allie? Was I right? I was weird. No one wants to be around people who are weird. On occasion, evidently your father did. What about your mother? What do you want me to say? My mother wasn't bad to me. She was just busy. Too busy for you? I didn't need her. I was busy too. Doing what? Reading, studying. I swam a lot. Yes, you could do all those alone. That would keep you away from everyone. I asked my mother if I could have my bedroom in one of the guest cabins. It's what I wanted. Was it? Yes. She glared at him. Don't be stupid. Why would you think I'd want to be near anyone? It hurt. Sometimes it made me sick. If I stayed away most of the time, it would be okay. How far away? How close do you have to be to a person being attacked by their memories? 15, 20, 30 feet. It depends. Some people are stronger than others. But when I was in my father's office, it was always close enough to be clear. She swallowed. Too clear. I imagine that's true. Thanks. I fucking hate this guy. I'm going to blow up. We are we are only a crisp 38 pages in, and we are over halfway to 100 cringes. So how many cringes did I do? Hold on. I'm pulling up the fucking receipts, dude. I'm pulling it open. I don't give a fuck. I have to know, how bad is this by comparison? 'Oh wait, I can't. I haven't posted them yet. I mean, yes I can, but I have to like scroll and find out. $232. What do you mean? This is a 3.4 entries? This is worse than the Colleen Hoover so far. Because there's no way we are going to be under 232 at this rate. This is bad. Like, that's crazy. Anyway. Moving forward. I guess. Busy. It hurt. 20, 30 feet. Okay. So, okay. Too clear. I imagine that's true. His lips tightened grimly. He would want to make certain that you were super efficient when he needed you. Being alone might have been a good defensive attack, but loneliness isn't healthy for a kid. Didn't you have any friends? She shrugged. When I was little, I used to play with kids at school. But that was before everything changed, and they didn't like me anymore. At first they thought it was kind of cool that I knew stuff that only they should know. It was like I was some kind of circus act. But then it began to make them uncomfortable, and they didn't want to be around me anymore. They just didn't understand. Same thing. Not at all. Same result. Now I can't quarrel with you there. Because I'm right. People don't like what they don't understand. She looked up from her plate. Why are you asking all these questions? I told you I'm interested and curious. We're going to have to interact very closely. I want to be able to gauge your reactions. Why? A 2021 review says her best book thus far with a 5-star review. Girl, if this is a 5-star, what are... No. I can't even imagine. Is there a list? Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, you need to slow down. Girl, you might need to write less. Write less and harder. But whatever. What the hell was I? Oh, right, I had started this. So you can try to manipulate me. You've accused me of that before. It's a rather mature charge for someone of your age to level at anyone. What do you know about manipulation, Allie? I told you. I read. I study. In books, everyone is always trying to manipulate everyone else. She paused. And as soon as I realized what it was and how it worked, I recognized it. I watched for it. Like I'm watching you, man, Dick. Intelligent. I'm not above trying to manipulate you to get my own way. I hate this guy. Okay, sorry, back to reading times. Oh, wait, what? You can get past the huge age gap in 3 show. Wait, what? Was that from a review? Oh, wow. A good sign to be sure. Oh, that's fucking crazy. I can't get it. I can't give it. The thing is that I know what's gonna happen. You don't need to tell me twice. They're going to age her up, and then it's not going to be bad anymore. That is how this reader can get past it, is because they have no reading comprehension skills. Good stuff. Anyway, and realistically, and now this is slightly, like, not great, but I would truly rather her be 18 right now and then age her up later. Then it wouldn't feel so bad. You know what I mean? Like, yes, she's still 18. Yes, she's still very young and naive. But at least she begins the book of age. You know what I'm saying? Like, there is no reason to make her 16. 18 years old is still young, is still childlike in maturity level. But if you age her up from there, there was no pedophilia, kind of, involved. It still feels gross, but at least it's legal. That is the least this book could do. Also, there's a 5-star from 2024. Read what you want, but please, I gotta find better words. I am always an advocate for read something. And sometimes reading something is a good step to reading something good. And we all have to get there in one way or another. We all have to hit that read something good stage somehow. And some people need to read a lot of slop first before they can read anything rock solid. So slop books like this need to exist to improve literacy rates, is what I'm saying. We all started on Slop Pad, I guess. Slop Pad is so good. So true. Ugh. Anyway, I wanna pick it up so bad, but whatever. Intelligent. I'm not above trying to manipulate you to get my own way, he added, but it's not purely a desire to manipulate. I'm genuinely interested in how you think. Why? Because you're a rare find, and I'm beginning to discover that I want to see how you tick. He was silent a moment, though that may be very dangerous for me. She was feeling uncomfortable. He was looking at her with an expression that was almost sympathetic. She had become accustomed to his hardness, to that sharpness and sophisticated dry humor. She didn't know what to think of pity. He was pitying her, and she didn't like it. She didn't need his pity. I'm tired of answering your questions. She stared him in the eye. Now I want you to answer mine. Yes! Let's go! I don't really know anything about you. I know I have to go along with you because I'm scared of Kamano, and you're dangling a way out for me. But I don't like it. And I want to know why I shouldn't bolt as soon as I get the chance. I'll give you a hint, he said quietly. You can trust me to do the best for you until we're on level ground. Then you'll have to look out for me, Allie. I'm looking out for you now, man, Dick. She took another bite. And why do you think we're not on level ground? She stared at him challengingly. Prove it. He threw back his head and laughed. Oh, I intend to do that. Ugh, I hate men so bad. Oops. There we go. She took another bite. And why do you... wait, I already did that, sorry. He put a little catsup on his beef pot pie. What's up? What? That's so cute. Okay, anyway, I have to run another ad. So I will be right back. Everybody sit tight during the ad. Okay, we're back now. I totally forgot I can zoom in. Not that it matters too much. I should not have messed with this. I had it in literally the perfect position. Lamau, okay. Sorry. It's just at an angle, so I feel bad that these like words are kind of shitty. So I kind of like I would have to hold it, and I don't. I'm not fucking doing that. No, cat, don't reread. I'm supposed to read. Also, thank you. It is good to be back. Anyway, where was I? Also, thank you for your Happy 9 to 5. Sorry I ran an ad during 9:05. I was not paying attention. Normally I try to avoid it, but I'm dumb. So I wish I could run ads at like the half-hour mark, but I would have to like change the way I do ads. Because normally I just run one before a stream starts, and then it's at the hour mark, and then from there it always like shifts back by a couple minutes, which gets it closer and closer to 9:05. So my bad. If I ran the first one like 10 minutes early, it'd be okay, but I don't. So, you know. Anyway, Oh, he put a little catsup on his beef pot pie. But not now. Eat your dinner and relax. Is there anything I can do to help you? Talk to me. Tell me about who you are and why you think you can make me do what you want me to do. So that you can use it against me, if I have to. He shook his head. Sorry, not now. It's not the time. Okay, then tell me how you managed to kill Kamano's men as if you were swatting flies. He smiled. I'm very fast, and I have been trained by experts. Also, I spent several years as a mercenary in the Congo. Would that be a wild... Would that be wild to change the status to? No, that's so funny. Little catsup on his beef pot pie. It's so silly. Like, what? Hello? This book is taking itself so seriously, and then it throws, put a little catsup on his beef pot pie. Like, what the fuck do you mean? I love it so much. Anyway, favorite line for sure. Okay. She studied him critically. You seem pretty young for all that. You seem to be pretty young for all you've gone through, too. I have no intention of telling you tales of my bloody past, Allie. Okay, but who trained you? I had a sort of mentor from the time I was a child. I had potential, and they wanted to make sure the potential was realized. Potential for killing? No, the lethal training was to ensure that I was able to defend myself so that I'd be able to accomplish what I needed to accomplish. He shrugged. Scenarios like the one with Kamano's men aren't that unusual in my life. But it happened because you interfered with what they wanted to do to me. I don't think you make a habit of going around and swooping down to do stuff like that. That would be nuts. It would be stupid. He chuckled. Yes, and I try to avoid being stupid at all costs. But sometimes necessity dictates that I swoop. That was so fucking stupid. Good stuff. You're very special, Allie. I couldn't take a chance. You're at a very critical stage in your development. You could go either way. Huh? I didn't like the developmental mention, but go off. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm just trying to survive. She nibbled at her lower lip. You said you could help me with blocking those memories. How do I know that you can do what you claim? Are you just telling me what I want to hear? All I've seen so far is that you can kill people. Anyone can kill people. I grew up with scum who could do that. I realize that, he said quietly. But I thought I'd wait to demonstrate anything out of the sphere with which you're familiar. You'd be less intimidated by violence than intrusion. Intrusion? You see, you're already prickling. What do you mean, intrusion? I can't straighten you out without going inside. Inside. He meant going inside her mind? Panic jolted through her. I told you about that Dr. Kramer, who could... Huh? No one talks like this. Anymore. Girl needs some chapstick. Did she... Oh, nibbled. Okay, that... At least it wasn't moistened again. That would be number 3. I told you about that Dr. Kramer, who kept me and wouldn't leave me alone. I won't go through that again. I don't need to be straightened out. He tilted his head and looked at her. I don't. You know better. It wouldn't be like that. It wouldn't be like what you went through with that doctor. He wanted to explore. I just want to clear the way. And what kind of magic do you think you can pull out of your hat? No magic, but I have a talent for clarifying and unwinding all the twists. Once we get rid of all the debris, then I can lead you toward building protective walls. I don't believe you can do that. It's weird. It would make you more of a freak than I am. Certain talents exist. Accept it. Make the most of it. His smile faded. Q&A is over, Allie. I've told you all I'm prepared to tell about myself. None of that is important. You're the one who has to talk to me. Your mind is closed and I have to open it. Bullshit. Her favorite thing to say. I'm super annoyed. You say that because you're afraid that if you opened your mind, you'll be bombarded, he shrugged. And it could work that way if it was anyone but me that let you come calling. He met her gaze. But I have to come in and clear out all the debris. You already said that. Oh, oops. Cringe. My bad. Cringe. Clear out all the debris and ugliness that have built up so that you can start building walls. One of her character traits is swearing. Good stuff, I'm sure. And yes, you'll be vulnerable. No, I won't, she said violently, because I won't let you near me. I could force it, but I won't do that. You've had too much force already in your life, he said gently. But you will let me come in. I can be very persuasive. Ew. I don't like that very much. No, this is all crazy. I don't believe anything you're saying. She jumped to her feet, and I don't have to stay here. I'll call that Dantlo and tell him I want him to come and get me. The only thing he cares about is getting Kamano anyway. He'd do it. She turned her back and stalked across the room toward her bedroom. Stay away from me, man, Dick. I can't do that. No choice. She slammed the door behind her. Her breath was coming in gasps, and she felt dizzy with panic. He had been so damn certain, so confident. He had made her believe that he could actually mess with her mind. Not that he would call it messing. He would say it was all for her, a cleansing. All for her good, a cleansing. As if she'd believe him. As if she'd let anyone close enough to hurt her. Run away or call Dantlo. She'd decide in the morning. She was too weak and her wound was aching. She'd get a good night's sleep, then make the decision. No, she wouldn't. Mandic had been too sure of himself and it was frightening her. She couldn't risk staying with him one more hour, much less a night. She had to get away from him. She headed for a window. Screw you, Mandic. She hit the ground running. As soon as she hit... Why did we split this? This is immediately tangential. This is directly related. Why did... Why? I don't understand. The fuck? I hate it here. This book is so genuinely bad. She needed the time to tie her sheets together. I suppose so, perhaps. But all the same, it would have been tangential anyway. She hit the ground running as soon as she jumped the 4 feet from the window. Allie! She glanced back as she heard Mandic's voice. He was standing on the front porch watching her. I expected this. He started toward her. Let's talk. Don't do this. Go to hell. Running. Darkness. Trees. Forest. Familiar. So familiar. Running from Kamano. Now running from Mandic. Allie! He was close. He was behind her, his feet pounding the earth. Close. Very close. Stop, he muttered a curse. This isn't good for you. You're probably going to start bleeding again. I'm not going to hurt you. That's what Tantana said. She ran faster. I don't believe you either. Everyone lies to me. It's all lies. If it was lies, I would have spun you a much better story. His hand grasped her shoulder and he spun her around. Everything I told you was the truth. It would have been much easier to lie to you. Would it? She tried to struggle with him. Strong. Lord, he was strong. I think you just wanted to scare me. That's the last thing I wanted, he said harshly. This isn't easy for me. You're only a kid. Okay? I don't terrorize kids. I wanted to make this as honest and clean as I could. Well, you didn't do it. She freed one arm and slapped him. Let me go. She slapped him again. Let me go, damn it. I can't do that, Allie. He grabbed her close and held her immobile in his arms. Now be still. It will be over in a minute. What will be? Panic rising within her. What are you doing, man, Dick? I won't let you... Dizziness. Darkness. Sunlight. Why did we split this? I guess we could have. I guess. I'll let this one slide. This one is bad. This one I'll let it go. Pine trees. I won't let the listing things go, though, so. Pine trees. Butterflies. Wonderful scents. The wings of the butterflies were moving in slow, beautiful patterns through the forest, she thought dreamily. Mama was like a butterfly, but somehow she thought of Mama wasn't hurting her. The thought of Mama wasn't hurting her right now. She could accept the beauty without the thought of betrayal. I'm glad I could at least do that for you, Man Dick said ruefully. Glad he's here. 2 breaks back to back is wild. I agree. It was quite abhorrent, but we move ever forth. She turned to see him leaning against a tree, the sunlight shining on his dark hair. He was beautiful too, but not like a butterfly. Okay. Thank God for that, he said. I would have just have soon skipped the butterfly analogy for your mother too. I tried to find you a lovely but totally association-free scene from your childhood, he grimaced. But you had such a lousy childhood that I had to take what I could get. She looked around her. Beauty. Peace. You did this? I had to calm you down. His lips twisted. And anyway, you wanted a demonstration that I could do something besides kill people. Just pretty pictures. She gazed at the butterflies. How did you do it? It's one of my talents. I'm not as good as it as some of as I'm not as good at it as some others in my circle, but this came out pretty well. You read my memories? I can't actually read your memories. It's not my forte. I can just skim the surface. I'm very good at surfing. I just went dipping for things that made you peaceful and happy. Pretty pictures, she repeated with disgust. Dude, get out of my mind palace. So true. Real pictures, real sense, real feelings that you felt at the time. I just brought them back for you, your own memories. He shook his head. But there are so many other memories that are tortured. I have to clarify and let you look at them without the hurt. She shook her head. Don't be afraid. We'll start out slow. You can stop me at any time, but if you'll trust me, we can get through this. Then why if this was not the right move? If you wanted to prove to her that you were trustworthy, you don't do this to her by force. Be less scary to begin with. Like, don't describe... Stop... Her being upset in the aftermath of that conversation makes complete and total sense. Her being like, you want to manipulate me, and he's like, yes, I do. Don't be honest about that. Little white lies are fine if you're trying to make yourself more trustworthy. If you genuinely and legitimately care about her, you will lie a little bit to make her more comfortable. Instead, you're like, I am going to manipulate and use you. Stop saying that. It is very clear you have other intentions that go along with this. It's clear you probably see the future or something. So, lock the fuck in and manipulate better. Okay? I don't know what to tell you. But you're not doing a very good job. That's all I'll say. Anyway, I can't trust you. Then just take baby steps and we'll still make it. I'll show you. No, I don't want you to. Serenity. Sunlight. Sparkling, glowing beacons in the distance. Butterflies moving, flying, soaring. And man-dick. Gently, carefully, no more intrusion than the butterflies. But he wasn't moving aimlessly as they were doing. He was in her mind, seeking, finding. Release, unchained, an exquisite burst of freedom. Then he was there again, soothing, a balm. Soothing. A balm to ease the shock of that sudden release. Okay. No. I will not let it slide. See? His voice was velvet, soft in the darkness. I'll bring you only good right now. That was a tiny, ugly scar you needed to be rid of. Are you manipulating and changing her feelings and memories? That feels like a crazy violation. I'm going to go ahead and cringe. That's fucking crazy. Anyway, there is so much worse trauma and ugliness that's paralyzing you. What your father subjected you to was cruel and unusual punishment. It's a wonder you survived it. I'm taking away the scars and unhealed wounds. I'm not giving you new ones. You can feel that, can't you? She could feel it. It was clear and pure as the sunlight. She felt the goodness and the rightness of that release. Yes, she added belligerently, but I still don't trust you. He chuckled. I didn't expect victory. One step at a time. Sleep. When you wake up, you'll realize that something's changed. Something's better. Then we'll take it from there. I don't know. You really are weird. Maybe more weird than I am. I have to figure out what just happened. Maybe hypnosis, but I could feel it. It was hard to think now. She was already too drowsy, but I guess you did prove that you know how to do something besides kill people. Iris, the author, loves using the phrase, of that, a lot. Wait, what? Of that. Now I'm trying to find one. The ease the shock of that sudden... Okay, yeah, of that. You're right. She also likes single word... Like, you know, like snappy... Which is fine. I do it too, but not this often. It's supposed to be for occasional emphasis. This... one instance, two 2, you could argue. 3, you could argue. 4. 5. I would argue that this chunks up these 2. That's pretty bad. Anyway, chapter 3. We're moving right along. Anyway, you slept hard. Good start. Mandic was sitting in the chair beside her bed. He was what? When she opened her eyes again. She was in her bedroom at the lodge, she realized hazily. It's been 4 hours and I was getting a little worried. Though I thought it was probably a mental effort to get away from me that was... causing it. The wound looked alright after I rebandaged it. She looked down at her side and the clean, fresh bandage. Stop doing that! What the hell? She was just taking a little nap. It was only 4 hours. Don't fucking touch her, bro. I'll kill you, bitch. It feels okay. She met his gaze. And I wouldn't try to escape from you that way. I'm not a coward. Point taken. Then maybe you were trying to work everything out in your mind. He smiled. There's something to the old advice about the wisdom of sleeping on it. Did you come up with anything? Was I supposed to wake up immediately and tell you that you were right? She shook her head. No way. She wished he would go away. She had to think. She was bewildered and a little scared. But amidst all the fear, something had happened tonight that had made her imagine that maybe he was silent. What? What is this implying? That maybe he's a nice guy? Or what? What does this mean? I am so confused about her opinions on him. I'm getting so many mixed signals. What the fuck? You can't do this if I don't know what's going on. If there's too many feelings and vibes coming from her, especially in this, like, that was very confusing. You can't hit me with the ... dude. I'll fucking kill you. Anyway, he was silent. His eyes narrowed on her face. I doubt if you'd ever admit I was right about anything. But what I did to you, with you, felt right, didn't it? Tell me the truth, Allie. She hesitated. It was difficult lowering her defenses, despite feeling like she's had low defenses the entire time. But go the fuck off. But maybe it was time she tried. Then, she said awkwardly, nothing I've ever felt was as right as those few moments. Afterward, I felt free. It will get better. I made you a promise, and I'll keep it. If she let him keep that promise, the fear was there. But so was that tiny current of excitement. What would you do? I'd come to you. I did that, sorry. I'd come to you, mostly at night, when you're on the verge of sleep. It's easier to access at that time. I just sit here. Sometimes you'll talk to me. I don't like that. It sounds like Dr. Kramer and an analyst's couch. Then don't talk to me. Your choice. I can work anyway. He paused. You want to do it, don't you? She did want to do it. He had shown her a brightness at the end of the tunnel. It had only been a single ray of light, but it had held hope. Maybe. She moistened her lips. That's 3. We gotta go. It's over. Book done. I think we gotta move on. Again, yeah. That was pretty bad. Number 3, but okay, sure. Nope, that's fine. Feel free. Anyway, how long will it take? Oh, not all that razzle-dazzle about cleansing my mind. How long before I can function and keep everyone at bay and out of my head? Years. What? You said everyone. That's a very big order. It would take years to get even near that goal, he said. I'm being honest with you. I'm not promising that you won't be bombarded occasionally. I'm saying that I'll give you immunity about 70% of the time. She tried to judge what that would mean to her. How long for that 70%? About 8 weeks. It doesn't make any sense. Keeping track of how many. Good. Someone has to. Because she and her editor notably did not. The first 5 weeks we cleanse and clarify. The last 3 weeks we concentrate on building. 8 weeks is a long time. Not for the payoff. Think about it. She was thinking about it. Immunity 70% of the time. It wasn't perfect, but it could be salvation for her. If she was careful, she would be able to move around almost normally. She hadn't promised that he'd give her everything she wanted, and that honesty made her more prone to believe him. It might all be a fairy tale, but what if it wasn't? What if there was a chance? I still don't trust you. That's not the question. In the end, you don't have to trust me. Um, if you're gonna be in her head, yes, she does. What are you talking about? Not if you trust yourself, Allie. Do you? His words hit home. He was right. It didn't matter what his intentions were for her. He didn't control her. If she kept her wits sharp and watched him, then she'd be able to detect any sign that he could harm her. She was the only person in the world that she did trust. Then why be afraid or uneasy? She could protect herself. Why not reach out and take what she wanted? When do we start? Now? Ah, I thought that might be the closing argument, he smiled. Not tonight. You've already had the first breakthrough. Plus, you've had a rough day. I feel fine. Stop treating me as if I'm some kind of weakling. I don't want to sit around and wait for you to decide it's the right time. If I'm going to do it, let's do it. She frowned. I want to get going. You won't just be sitting around, he studied her expression, but you obviously need to be convinced. He got to his feet. Since you assure me how strong and fit you are, I won't worry about your wound for tonight. Get up and come with me. I'll show you what happens after you get that wound a little more healed. He helped her out of the bed. A little puny. Huh? What? I'm actually genuinely trying to understand what he's trying exactly. Like, I don't get it. Okay. Anyway. No. Her knees were feeling rubbery, but she stepped away from him. She got a funny feeling whenever he touched her. Anyway. Where are we going? Just down the hall, to the left. He was across the room, opening the door. After you. What's down the hall? She went out the door and turned left. Never mind. I'll find out myself. You don't mind if I trail along? He was close behind her. The next door, Allie. She stopped and hesitated before the door he indicated. You're wondering what's behind it, he said, amused. Like the old story. Will it be something wonderful or a tiger who could attack you? She reached for the doorknob. Not a tiger. The tiger's on this side of the door. He chuckled with genuine amusement. Very good. She threw open the door. Darkness. He reached around from behind her and turned on the wall switch. Brilliant light illuminated tiger foreshadowing. Spoilers! Spoilers! Very curious, though. No tiger. She stared in bewilderment. It's just some kind of gym. Her gaze wandered around the room. Mats on the floor, exercise equipment, weights. Disappointed? He asked. It's a very good gym. Exactly what I asked for when I rented the place. Why did you want a gym? It's for you. You need to be kept occupied. In a gym? Physical release is a good thing, he paused, and it wouldn't hurt for you to learn a few karate moves, or maybe more than a few, if you'll let me teach you. Karate? Or we could explore a few other martial arts if you preferred. Why? She asked bluntly. Occupied? You don't care about my being occupied. It's all about learning karate or that other stuff, isn't it? Why should I do that? I like the idea of your being able to take care of yourself. I guess this is fine. I don't like the way it reads, though. It feels wrong. I know it's not necessarily, but it's not good. So okay. Anyway, why? I may not be around when you need me. I don't want you to have to depend on me. Shock rippled through her. It shouldn't have surprised her, but it did. She knew in the end that she was alone. She certainly had no intention of ever having to depend on Mandic, yet she knew his strength and intelligence, and it had been comforting to have someone beside her to fight Kamano. You don't have to worry about that, she said jerkily. I'll make my own way. I'll be there if I can, he said sharply, but things happen, and I want you to be prepared for them. I want you to be smart and lethal, and a finely honed weapon that no one can put down. I think you want that too. I never thought about it. No, you were too busy just keeping sane and fighting off the dragons. It's what you're doing at this moment. Think about it now. Fighting off the dragons. I hate repeating sometimes. Girl, don't you like him? Or something. I don't. She could think anything. And I'd believe her. But anyway, because I have to. Yes, that had been her life, but it had always been a defensive battle. She had been the victim, but what if that changed? What if she became the weapon Mandic wanted her to be? You like the idea, Mandic said, his gaze on her expression. As opposed to something else. As opposed to her face. Or something normal. Yes, she added fiercely, you knew I would. But do you believe I don't know that you're not doing this only for my sake? Maybe you want a weapon of your own, Mandic. Maybe I do, but the sword cuts both ways, doesn't it? She slowly gazed around the gym. What would I have to do? Get well. That won't take long. Get strong. Skill can replace strength in many cases, but it helps. Exercise. You probably didn't ever have a regular exercise regimen. I'm stronger than you think. I used to swim for hours in the pool at the compound. She looked at all the exercise machines. But I can get stronger. I'm sure you can. She turned to look at him and demanded, but are you good enough to teach me? He smiled. Yes, I'm good enough. And you won't pretend or try to take it easy on me? Not even a little bit. His voice was gentle but still held a bit of steel. A hint of steel, excuse me, I love to make shit up. I'll take you down and wipe the floor with you. Fair enough? And you'd enjoy it. You'll have to see. Why do we keep telling each other how we're feeling? It really pisses me the fuck off. The dynamic is very weird. I don't like it. Please stop. Anyway, you'll have to see. I'm torn between thinking of you as a kid and wanting to meet those challenges you throw at me on a purely adult level. Why do you keep talking about this? How did that book reviewer get past the age gap? They're making it so obvious. Okay, anyway. That means my every response to you is a crapshoot. Whatever. Her brow was furrowed in thought. But I want more. It's not going to be enough. Really? Guns. I want to know how to handle guns. And maybe knives. Good God. Why are you surprised? You started this. All the martial arts in the world aren't going to do me any good unless I'm close to Kamano's men. They'll have guns and knives, and they'll know how to use them. I'm going to know how to use them too. She added, I don't think I have to ask you if you can teach me about guns. You said you are a mercenary. I can teach you. This is my life. I'm going to defend myself. I want to be very, very good. I can teach you, he repeated. Just checking. If you can't, try to find someone who can. She turned away from him. I'm ready to go back to bed now. I need to rest. She suddenly whirled back to him and took a deep breath. There's something I have to say to you. She moistened her lips. Thank you. Not again. Not again. Oh God, I love it here. I love being able to read. It's so fun. It's so cool. Anyway, thank you. His brows rose. Well, that's a surprise. It's hard for me to say because I'm confused, and I don't know why you're doing all this. She shook her head. But in the end, maybe it doesn't matter. You saved my life. And now you may be going to save my sanity. That was a very poorly written sentence. I'll let it slide. I'll let it slide. That's really something, Mandic. You have no idea what it means to me. I can't just turn my back and ignore it. Even though I've told you that I'm going to make you pay for it, all my life people have been doing that. You're no different. I'll work that out later. And at least you're giving me something I want more than anything in the world. She started to turn away. That's all. I don't promise to trust you or not to be suspicious, but I wanted you to know that I value what you're doing for me. Because I probably won't tell you again. Once is enough. I believe I'm touched. You're making fun of me. That's okay. I expected it. No such thing. I meant it. Really? The awkwardness of the moment was back. She headed for the door. Like I said, I need to go to bed. I'll start exercising early tomorrow morning. And probably overdo it. I won't hurt myself, she glanced back at him, and I won't let you hurt me either. You were surprised that I took the initiative just now about the guns, but it wouldn't have been too long before you took another step in the same direction. You're clever and manipulative. You probably didn't want to shock me. Very perceptive. Am I right? He slowly... Very perceptive is confirming that you are correct. You should get a free chapstick with the purchase of this book. True. That's so funny because, like, I'm imagining her licking her lips, but it's way funnier for her to, like, pull out a chapstick and then fucking put it on every time she mentions it. That is what I'm choosing to imagine now. Because it's technically the same. Putting on chapstick is moistening your lips if you think about it. It's just this is a non-descriptive action. Like, there are more than one way to moisten your lips. Therefore, she could be putting on chapstick. You never know. Reading is so much fun. I love to analyze. Anyway, he slowly nodded. Oh, right, I was gonna cringe at this, because asking, am I right, after him saying very perceptive, he just agreed with you. That is basically confirmation that yes, you are right. Whatever. He slowly nodded. I agree that you need all the tools you can beg, borrow, or steal to get through this. I'll get through it. I'll study and learn and fight all the dragons that come my way, but it will be my battle, not yours. She headed for the door. You want a weapon? I'll give you one, man dick, but it won't do you one bit of good. Okay. I don't really understand what that means, but it's annoying, so have a good one, I guess. Trenton, New Jersey. We have changed locations. I've got a license plate number, Navarro said when Kamana picked up. It's about time, Kamana said. Wapaz ass line. So true. Love it. We were lucky to get it this soon. I was like working blind. If we hadn't found the blood, we'd still be looking for who took her. Blood? Tantona was firing at her. We found traces of blood in the shrubs and at the campsite about 30 miles down the road from where we found Tantona. But you didn't find a body. No, but we found a ranger who had spotted a car in the forest that night. He wasn't happy about the campfire, so he took down the license number and he was going to talk to the man who had lit it. But they only stayed a couple of hours. Took off. Man? Description? The ranger was too far away, but it was only one man, and he thought maybe a woman. Bingo. What kind of car? A dark blue Toyota. And there was blood at the campsite? Yeah, quite a bit. He might have been trying to bandage her wound. And it seemed Teresa had survived, Kamano thought bitterly. If Tantona had aimed straighter, he wouldn't be having this trouble. Have you called in the number to our man Vaughn at the precinct? Yeah, it's a rental car. It was rented at Philadelphia Airport. I'm on my way to get a copy of the rental agreement and a photocopy of the guy's driver's license. He paused. We should have a picture of him within a couple hours. Good man, he said. I should have relied on you instead of Tantona. Find this son of a bitch, and you'll have me very grateful, Navarro. I'll find him, Navarro said eagerly. You can count on me. I'd never have let her get away to begin with. He hung up. Blood? Gina repeated, as she lifted her coffee cup to her lips. Is that what you said? He looked at her across the luncheon table. Luncheon table, LMAO. She was even more gorgeous in the full sunlight of the terrace than she had been last night. Her eyes were fixed intently on him, but he couldn't read her expression. Her beautiful face was smooth and calm and portrayed only curiosity. It seems Tantona was forced to fire at your little girl when she ran away. I'm sure that it was only a token shot, but he must have hit her. But the blood will probably help us to find her. She shook her head. Then that's a good thing. Such a foolish child. I always told Antonia that Teresa must be a little unbalanced because of all that weird stuff in her head. Now look at her running around the country, getting herself hurt. She'll be much better off when she comes home to me. He smiled mockingly. They say every child should be with their mother. He took a drink of his coffee. Only one man in that rental car. I feel better about the possibility she might be in the hands of the police. It's still a possibility that we may have gotten lucky. A pervert? She tilted her head. Yes, actually. Unfortunately, yes. She's a pretty girl. Everyone says she's almost as pretty as I am. Nonsense. It was the response Gina wanted. And besides, he had never found Teresa attractive. That's good, considering her age. She always stared at him with those big eyes as if she could see his soul. I doubt if it's a pervert. He took out 3 men as if they were nothing. His focus isn't on sex. To be determined. Every man's focus is on sex. It just depends on the time and opportunity. She met his eyes, and her own were wide and clear and totally enigmatic. And the desirability of the woman. I'm glad you don't find Teresa desirable. It would cause me so many problems. This is fun. This is a fun conversation that we were having about our daughter. But, okay, sure. Go. No, that's fine. Go ahead. He chuckled. I'm sure you would solve them with your usual skill and unique talents. He set down his cup and pushed back his chair. But Teresa's desirability or lack of it isn't important for you at the moment. When Navarro gets the information I need about the man who took Teresa, we'll be going after her. You want me to go? Hell yes. He stared across the terrace. I don't know what we'll face with that bastard, but I do know you're the one who can lead Teresa back into the fold. Be ready. We'll be right back, Jingle. Oh no. Due to something here, or are you being called back to do IT again? Could be anything. You've had to do so much IT. Okay. He should probably stop her, Mandic thought as he stood in the doorway of the gym and watched Allie work out with the weights. Her forehead was creased in concentration and her t-shirt wet with perspiration. But she was smart and she hadn't overdone her workouts in the past 2 days. She paced the exercise, taken breaks, then started again. He'd been impressed by her sheer determination and deliberately left her on her own to make mental and physical adjustments. It was time for him to step in and start training her at the mental and psychological level, but he could let her physical workouts remain solitary for the time being. You could... Okay, that's good. Very happy you aren't ITing again. But also, you could leave her alone for the workouts. But okay, sure. No, that's fine. I'm glad you're making that choice. Okay. She looked up and saw him. You're frowning. Go away. I'm not doing anything wrong. No, you're not. I'm just admiring your stamina. Go admire it someone else. You bother me. I love you bother me. This fills me with delight. You bother me. Let's fucking go. Yes, I know. You bother me too. In a few years, we might have to have a discussion about that. He turned away. In the meantime, I'll let you have your space. You can have one more day on your own. I start teaching you the fine art of karate tomorrow. Why not today? Tomorrow, he said firmly, and started down the hall. If he stayed in the gym, he knew she would persist and gnaw at him like a bulldog. She was nothing if not stubborn. He had only gone a few steps when his cell phone rang. He went still when he saw the ID. N. Prolland. He punched the access. What do you want, Prolland? Why, man, Dick, I only want courtesy. Prolland's voice was silky smooth. And to hear that note in your voice, that pleases me to my very soul. Are you ready? It wouldn't matter if I was or not. Give it to me. Carl Steinem, age 14, Salzburg. 14? Ah, that's the note. It always bothers you when I kill the young. Because you're a real son of a bitch. Why do you always call me? Why not Neil Grady or Renata Wiltshire? Who are you talking about? You have given me so much bullshit fuck-ass dialogue exposition, and now you're just name-dropping! Stop that! Stop! Fuck you. I'm cringing. I don't give a shit. Suck my dick. How can you wonder? Our encounters have been so exhilarating. This way. They'd sent many of their people to try and trip me. You came very close, man, Dick, and then you made the fatal mistake of stealing that young fool before I was ready to toss him away. I dearly wanted to cut your throat when you did that. I still do. You're not safe. Look over your shoulder and I'll be there. I'm going to find you, man, Dick. Why? When it obviously excites you to make me feel your superiority by killing these kids? Screw you, Prolland. But I am superior. Is there another bad guy? That's annoying. Put that away, bro. You, as an author, cannot handle more than one antagonist. Put him away. Put him down. Put N. Prolland down, okay? We don't need him. I promise. One villain is enough. Via the reviews, I guess this is a tie in book. Oh. And the other? I would be scared to know. Honestly. Anyway, but I am superior, and you can't do anything about it. Pandora's daughter. Good. Good. Sounds solid. Oh no. But I am superior, and you can't do anything about it. I'll let you know when I have something else to report. He hung up. Cool down. There wasn't anything he could do right now, and getting this angry and upset was exactly what Prolin had intended. The son of a bitch knew how to rip him to pieces. He was a consummate sadist, and enjoyed every minute of any pain he could inflict. Mandic had dealt with him for years, both in the field and leading raids to try and free the captives he held for profit. He had been marginally successful, but it wasn't enough. His hands had been tied. They were still tied. And the only one who could cut those ties was Allie Gerard. Allie thought Kamano and her father were bad. She had no idea about the depths of the wickedness of which Prolin was capable. But she might learn if Mandic couldn't prepare her to face him when he tossed her in Prolin's path. She had to be lethal enough to protect herself while she was doing what Mandic wanted of her. He had started her training, but there was still a long way to go. He was impatient, and he'd been tempted to bring in outside help. Not yet. It had to be just Allie and him until the bond was forged. Wow, he kills kids. He's so evil. Kamano literally also tried to kill a kid just now. So, so far, evilness is fairly equal from what we know. But anyway. Not yet. Okay. He pocketed his phone and continued down the hall toward the porch. He had work to do and contacts to be made. He couldn't put his life on hold because he was absorbed with the promise Allie offered. But it was difficult to remember that there was life outside Allie Gerard. She was becoming an obsession. No! Put that away. Put that down right now. Put that down right now, old man. Because he's not young. He is not young. Another reason to move forward as quickly as possible to push her away from him. But first, he had to bring her closer. Tonight. Start tonight. Allie tensed, jerked out of sleep. Someone was in the room. Mandic. She could feel him in the darkness. It's all right. You're safe, Mandic said from the chair beside her bed. Well, as safe as you can be. I'm not safe, not with you. She scrambled to a sitting position. It's creepy having you come in and stare at me in the dark. Then we'll turn on a lamp. He reached forward and flicked on the lamp beside her. Flicked on the lamp on the bedside table. Better? She wasn't sure. Now she could see those piercing blue eyes and feel the sheer power of him, which was a mixture of sexuality, charisma, and intelligence. And, creepo disease. Put that thing back where it came from, so help me. Boom, 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 boom. The power was always present, but she could try to ignore it when she was busy. Now she felt vulnerable. What are you doing here? It's time to start house cleaning in that interesting mind of yours, he said lightly. I told you how it would be, though it may not be as easy to access as I thought. You were sleeping very deeply. I was tired. I worked hard today. I know. You didn't show up for supper. I ate later. I robbed the fridge. I thought you would. I assumed you just wanted to avoid me. She nodded and said bluntly, You disturb me. It's mutual, but it will be easier once we get through a few sessions. Lie back down. She didn't move. I think I've changed my mind. Maybe I'll wait a little while to... Coward. I'm not a coward. She glared at him, and I don't have to do anything I don't want to do. He smiled. But you want to do this. Be honest with both of us, Allie. Honesty could be painful. Honesty could be terrifying. But he was staring at her with a quizzical look, and she couldn't lie. Wouldn't lie. You said it wouldn't be anything like Dr. Kramer. I won't put up with that again. I wonder why she would want to avoid you. I could think of a couple reasons. For sure. Nothing like Kramer. Lie down and close your eyes. She lay back down. That's like Kramer. Next you'll be attaching wires to me. No, I won't. I won't do anything at all for a few minutes. Just go blank. You don't have to talk or think. Sneak attack? He chuckled. I guess you might call it that. Don't you dare show me any butterflies or any of that kind of stuff. I promise. She closed her eyes. I feel like an idiot. He didn't answer. Her tension was leaving her, she realized. Was she becoming accustomed to him and relaxing? She asked him, Is the way I feel natural, or are you messing with me? Partly natural, he said. I have a little to do with it. Probably more than a little. But she didn't care. She was committed, and as long as she felt in control and able to back away, it was okay. Mess away, but I warn you, I'll shut you down if you pull a Kramer on me. Shh. Silence. No sound. No sensation. Nothing. Easy. It's coming. Man dick. Man dick? Why did I say that? Sorry. I got really excited. I was like, I get to say it again! I get to read his name! His fuck-ass name! Man dick said. This one isn't bad. An explosion of release. She arched as sensation after sensation moved through her. Relief. Freedom. She was panting. I thought it wasn't working. I didn't know you were doing it. Until it happened. That's the ideal procedure. He grimaced. But removing memory trauma isn't always that simple. That particular memory was a long time ago, before your father brought you in to do his dirty work. Were you aware of any memories while I was doing it? No, just the release. Good, but it won't always be that way. If it gets nasty, it will be like being pulled through a chainsaw. He paused. I'll try to wait until we get toward the end before I put you through that. Because you're afraid I won't let you do it any longer. He nodded. And because I need to get as far as I can so that you'll recognize the pain is worth it. Easy to say when I'm the one with the pain, she said dryly. Maybe it won't happen. The only thing I was aware of this time was sadness, a little anger, then the release. She shook her head. I don't like that they call it a release. It is very weird and creepy, and I don't like it. I don't like it. Is there like a... Oh. I'll finish this page. We hit the ... Yeah, we'll stop there. Anyway. Because I only have a few minutes left. Oh, she shook her head. I don't know what's happening in my head, but you could be wrong. Not likely, he said, because I do know what's going on in that mind of yours. He leaned back in the chair. Are you ready to try again? Yes. She closed her eyes again, and added flippantly, Go ahead, vacuum me out. I'm not taking anything away. Every memory is still there. I'm just taking out the poison and making you acknowledge them. Go ahead. She felt the tension coming again. What are you waiting for? How many times do we have to go through this again tonight? Only a few more. It won't be bad, and you're beginning to like it. Stop telling me how I feel, bro! I'm gonna lose it. I'll kill you, man. He was right. The release had felt cleansing and deeply satisfying. But you said it won't last. For tonight it will. Believe me, nothing bad will happen tonight. She wanted to believe him, she realized. Close. She was feeling strangely joined, close to him. That could be dangerous when she couldn't remember feeling close to anyone before. Prove it. He chuckled. I will. Now relax and let me work. Oh, I gotta fuck around with this one. Hello? Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay. Oh, that is no good. We're at a very interesting angle now. You're very high up. But that's fine, I guess. I guess the angle is whatever. You're just very hot, very tall. 4. That is quite a few. I am definitely... I need a bookmark. Because this isn't a... an online book, so I have to use a sticky note. Excuse me. Okay. We got through a decent chunk. We'll definitely get through this in a month, I think. I'm gonna have to move... Not that I really want to play Hogwarts Legacy anyway. So, moving forward, we are going to move this to Fridays. Scroll off. What the hell are you talking? Oh. I forgot I moved my keyboard. Anyway, using the worst line in my opinion. Damn, that is good. I can't wait. I'm sure it'll be a blast. Ouch. Oh, right. So, yeah, we'll move this to Fridays instead of Saturdays. I don't feel confident that I'm going to be able to play Bully on Saturday. I'll try to fix it tomorrow if I remember, but there's a lot I have that I'd like to do tomorrow. One, clean. That's a big one. My sink has been clogged for a minute, and it's really bad, and I'd like it to not be. So that's number one. I've also been like mid laundry for a while. I need to fold and get everything back in my drawer and stuff, and I need to like continue doing laundry so it doesn't happen again. And I also have homework. I need to work on my intaglio plate until it's done, which shouldn't be too bad. It's just an ink drawing, so it'll take me all day, but it won't feel that bad because it's small. I am very glad for that. So that's, and then I think I'm gonna be at school for a very long time on Monday. 'Cause I have a lot to do, and a lot of it's banking on me being there for a while on Monday. So I think I will not stream on Monday for homework purposes because I'm really trying to be able to not show up to class on Wednesday, save for my school and society class because I have a project due. I also have photography that I need to work on and my art ed stuff and blah 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 blah. So Monday no stream. I'll come back Tuesday. I'll want to come back Tuesday, I think. Mainly because it'll be art ed. I'll definitely be here Thursday because it will be art ed. And then Friday, I should be fine. Yeah. I didn't have anything crazy going on Friday. But this weekend, I'm going to be at school for a while. Because the goal was to finish printing while I was at school. So, lots to do on Monday. I want to be ahead of the game so I can not show up to class on Wednesday, etc., etc. But yes, I will post the schedule tomorrow, hopefully. I think that's all like the housekeeping stuff that I'm not sure anyone ever cares about, but I like to mention anyway. Mainly because it's half for me, 75% for me, 25% for you. So you know what I'm doing, but I know what I'm doing more. But yeah. Anyway, so any changes to what I just said will be posted tomorrow on the Discord. Thank you for hanging out with me while I read, oh my god, one of the worst books I've ever had the displeasure of reading. Godspeed out there. I love you.